What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 126 of Two Dudes and Some Bullshit. The date today is Monday, October the 4th, 2021, 6:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name's Dave McRae, coming to you live from the VoiceMann Studios in Toronto, Canada. He's Tony Michael, coming to you live from Atlanta, Georgia. And tonight, we are watching Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live! Woo! Episode 126, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace, 1982, starring Tom Atkins and the incredibly charismatic Nancy Loomis, now known as Nancy Keys. Listen, with
arguably the greatest, I mean, the absolute greatest sex scene of all the Halloween entire Halloween franchise.
This is the greatest sex scene of all time. And what's funny is that as Tom Atkins is having sex with what's-her-face, I forget her name now, his actual wife is getting murdered in the hotel room or the motel room or whatever it is. That woman that takes that little thing off the mask and gets shot in the face, and then her face that's actually Tom Atkins at the time. That was his real life wife.
Oh, no shit. I did not know.
It was. And so, and Nancy Loomis, who's now known as Nancy Keys, Annie from Halloween, bless her. I'm sure she's a nice lady, and she didn't stay too long in the acting biz. It seems like every role I've seen her in, she seems incredibly annoyed. She just always seems like,
I'm here.
Yeah, and her character, I mean, I don't blame Atkins for wanting to get out of that house and leave her with the children, because the way she was like, it was like Annie. This is what Annie did. Annie survived Halloween, got rid of Paul, and went off to Paul. Oh, Paul, I give you all. No keys, but please, my Paul. We'll save that for later in the month. Oh, spoiler.
Oh, spoiler.
No, it's not. You and I could watch Halloween every week for an entire year. And every week for an entire year, there would be 100...
like 1,000 people.
at least 250 people. We could watch Halloween hey, they're watching Halloween again. Holy fuck, are you serious? Yeah, let's watch it again. An entire year. Listen, if somebody wants to donate to Tony and I $500,000, we'll split it $250,000 each. Tony and I will watch Halloween every week for an entire year. Just saying.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Money talks, folks. Yeah. You know what? Why stop at 500,000? Let's make it 5 million, and then we'll split it $2.5 million each. And then Tony and I will watch.
We'll just spend the next 10 years watching Halloween every week.
Every week. That's just done. Done, ladies and gentlemen. Tony and I are paused. I'm watching it off iTunes. Funny enough, I don't usually watch the movies we watch here off iTunes. For me, I'm usually watching it off of YouTube. But Halloween 3, I can't rent YouTube from Halloween 3. So I have rented it from iTunes. I know Tony is watching it from iTunes as well. We are both paused 3 seconds in. The Universal logo hasn't quite come up onto the screen. It's just about to. That old school Universal Studios logo. It's just about to come up onto the screen. That is where we are paused. So we'll give you a few moments here to get that set up for you, ladies and gents. Tony, before we start, what is your favorite? What do you like about Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
Everything. This is like, if I were to rank my top 5 Halloweens, although this could change in a week from now, we don't know. As of right now, where it stands for me, it goes Halloween 4, Halloween 2, although Halloween 4 and 2 are kind of dueling with each other as the older I get. I really am loving Halloween 2. I've been on a Halloween 2 kick for a minute now. And then after that, number 4, resting comfortably there, is Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. And rounding out the top 5 for me personally is H2O. Got a feeling, though. All right. So I still haven't watched any trailers. People, please don't say shit in the chat room. But I did talk to Dave this week. I watched the Return to Haddonfield video with the interviews with Jamie Lee and oh my God, Desperate Housewives. What's her name?
I know you're talking about Lindsay Wallace. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So and then so obviously in that little blip, they saw the flashback sequence, and I was just like, whoa. Like when I saw that, I was just like, wow, like that's like. And then I started thinking, like, damn, did they miss the boat on maybe doing something like still set in 1978 because it looked so good?
Looked good, you know what I mean? Didn't it? Looked good.
I mean, it looked so freaking good. I'm like, then my mind started going like, well, what if they actually did a 90-minute film in between Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 of Michael progressing himself to the hospital, and the cops are on the hunt for him, and you could sort of tie in some Loomis stuff. I mean, I know Pleasance isn't around anymore, so my mind just started going bonkers. Or you just crazy.
Remake the original Halloween and do it like that.
That, you know what I mean? Like everything is leading up to, I mean, you still have Halloween 2, and Halloween 2 still is Halloween 2. But like, I was just like, man, like my mind just started going in that direction when I saw that. And I was just like, shit, did they miss the boat on doing something still set in 1978? Because, like you and I discussed in the text, or I mean, it got me really amped. It got me amped up. And I haven't been like, when I say amped, I was like, dude, it's like seeing Halloween for the first time, like as a kid.
Right. And here's the thing. And we're going to get to the movie in a sec, folks. By the way, we're paused 3 seconds.
But that's all. Don't say anything else about the trailers. It was just that blip thing. And if you've all seen that
BTS
thing,
feature,
that's all I've seen.
Here's the thing. The reason why people are so excited about that is because Halloween fans, by and large, are desperate. We are desperate for something that's good, something that is consistent, something that we are desperate, even if you don't realize it. The reason why you get really excited when you see shots like the one I talked about on my channel the other day, or what Tony is talking about here, is because not that you're not thinking about this consciously, but it's that fans for so long have been given dog shit. We've been just served so much garbage. We're desperate. We're malnourished. We're spent. We see this little glimpse of something that looks like the best thing that this whole franchise has ever delivered, really, at the end of the day. And we're like, oh my God. Oh, and it like brings tears to your eyes because you're like, yeah, dude, why didn't, but one
still photo of Michael walking down the alley, that one still photo, that's the best looking Michael Myers we've seen since the 78 film.
That's what I'm saying. In any sort of official capacity. I mean, there's been a lot of cosplayers and photos, that you've taken, other people have taken.
In a film, like in a movie.
In an official capacity. Absolutely. And the thing is that because we're so, like, you look at that and you think, why couldn't if we can get the mask to look like this, and I know there's reasons for it. I know, what I'm saying is a bit rhetorical, but I'm saying this is what we should have had 40 years ago. This is what Halloween 4 should have looked like. This is what 5 should have been like. It's that character continuity. It's that, I know that I gripe on mood and atmosphere and blue lighting and all that kind of stuff. And people kind of roll their eyes when I say that. But it's just as much of a character, the aesthetic, the way it's shot, the lenses that were used, how the camera moves, the lighting, all this is just as much a character to the overall sort of themes of the character of Michael and the symbolism to the movie and Halloween as anything else in the movie. And when you strip that away, like you deliver an H2O, the fuck is this? It doesn't look like Halloween, doesn't feel like Halloween, looks like Michael walked onto the set of Dawson's Creek. I mean, it's totally out in left field. And I know people love that movie. I know there's a lot of people that love that movie, and fair enough, that's fine.
It's in my top 5.
For a certain portion of the population, it may have been the first Halloween movie you ever saw. It may have been the first Halloween movie you ever saw in the movie theater. It may have been the movie that introduced you to the character of, Michael Myers. I get it. I understand it. There's a soft spot for it. But at the end of the day, there's no comparison. And it's a funny thing.
Do you feel that people are desperate? Well, do you feel that they might have missed an opportunity to do a full feature 90 minutes still based in 78 during that like transition from the Doyle house after Michael gets shot and leading up to the hospital?
No, I don't think so, because I don't think it's necessary. I think It's no, I don't. Because I don't think we need to know what happens in between that time. I think we kind of know what happens. I mean, I think part 2 picks up literally where part 1 left off. So we know sort of what happens. I mean, it's just, it gets people excited because carrying the movie forward in terms of the feeling, it's the feeling you get when you look at Michael walking down that alley with that mask on and that kind, it's the feeling, it's the way it looks, it's the aesthetic. That's what all the movies should have looked like, because you would understand that, well, this look is just as much of a character, and it's October in the Midwest. I mean, it should look like this. It should feel, there's a certain feeling and a look to the character and all this kind of stuff. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, but that's why people get excited. They get excited because it's something they've been longing for so many years, and you're going to get it in Halloween Kills, and you're going to get it in a bit of a vacuum in a small dose, and there's no doubt there's going to be people that are going to say, oh, maybe this is what they should have done, but I don't necessarily think that it is what they should have done, because there's no guarantee that, that could have gone south pretty quick. The
guy they picked, man, they picked a guy, like, that's, again, a great looking, to Nick Castle.
It just shows you that it can't, but what it shows you is that it can be done.
Yeah.
It can be done. It can be done. Anyway.
Halloween 3.
Season of the Witch. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Universal Studios.
Love this fucking soundtrack.
Oh, this soundtrack is great. It's one of my
favorites of the whole franchise, next to the original Halloween. This and 4, or they're my favorites. But this, the synthesizers they use in this.
Oh, I know. It's great. It's great.
Synth orgasm.
I know. Darren from the Slaughtered Lamb says, hurry up, Dave. Atkins has asses to slap. It's true. I'm surprised Tom Atkins hasn't been canceled. I mean, he slaps a nurse's ass like it's nobody's business. He does. He's
Good on him.
Good on him. It was way back in the day when women enjoyed having. No, I can't say that. I'll be canceled. It was just a joke, folks.
I think the right woman still enjoys a good little slap every now and then on the tush. Under the right circumstances, I think the right woman definitely is like. I think if you are with the woman and you are involved with the woman and it's in the right time and the right, sure, but I don't think necessarily going up to your coworker out of blue and slapping them on the ass. Oh no, nowadays you can't do that shit.
No, why?
No. We couldn't even do that when we were. Any job that I've ever worked, you couldn't do that.
It was never really appropriate. It just wasn't, it never
Now,
was.
If him and the nurse had like a thing, that's
and I wouldn't put it past him. I mean, Tom Atkins is a fucking horny man in this movie. He's a horny man, and I think his wife, the wife that's in this movie, what's his wife's name here? His real wife is in this film, and she is played by I forget. I don't know. Does the chat know what his wife's name is? His real wife's name, not the woman, not Nancy Loomis, not the woman he's hooking up with. But what's her real name? I forget. Stacey Nelkin is the one he hooks up with, but I'm looking at somebody else. Anyway, AK Channel TV sends in $10, says, Dave, I need your help. My mom wants to go with me to see Halloween Kills, but she didn't like 78 or 18. But if I don't take her, I will feel bad. I remember your story about zombies Halloween. What should I do? Well, I think you've answered your own question there. If your mom didn't like 78 and didn't like 18, then you shouldn't feel bad about not taking her, because I think she probably doesn't want to go see it, right? I need your help. My mom. Excuse me, Dave, I need your help. My mom wants to go with me. Excuse me, my apologies. My mom wants to go with me. For some reason, I read that as my mom doesn't want to go with me. My mom wants to go with me to see H Kills, but she didn't like 78 or 18, well, then just take her then. But just take her under the idea that if she didn't like, well, I would say to her, I'd say, Mom, are you sure you want to go? You didn't like 78. You didn't like H18. So there's a good chance you're probably not going to like this movie, but maybe she will, because it's higher octane. I mean, what kind of a horror movie person is your mom? Is your mom a horror movie gal? Does she like horror movies? And if she does she like a lot of blood, guts, and gore? Well, then maybe she'll love it. Maybe that's why she didn't like 78 or whatever. So I think have a real conversation with your mom. Sit down with your mom and kind of talk to her, and you know what I mean? And then maybe your mom might be like, you know what, maybe I won't go, whatever.
Honestly, I mean, this honest God's truth. My mom took me to see The Crew for the very first time on the Dr. Feelgood tour back in '89 because we were only 10 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw him again with Aerosmith because Aerosmith is like one of her all-time favorite bands. And back in like early 2000s, Motley Crue and Aerosmith toured together. And then I saw The Crew with her one last time on their farewell tour, which now they're coming back again, of course. But on their first farewell tour, I was like, well, you were the first to take me. It should be you to see them for the last and final time. And I had a great time. And because she's into the music too, you know what I mean? So it's
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to just find it. Like when I took my mom to see the remake of Halloween, Rob Zombies in 07.
Oh shit.
Well, yeah, but like my mom was 63. Okay. But my mom, when the original Halloween came out, was 34 or 30. Yeah, 34. So, I mean, you know, she remembers it very well. And she loves the original film. She even likes part 2 as well. Like she really likes the character and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, so taking her to see Rob Zombie's remake, I mean, I had no idea that it was going to be as foul as it was, and nor did she. And so it was kind of awkward, and we both hated the film, but I took her to see it because she was a Halloween fan. So it made sense for us to go together, right? It might not make sense for you guys to go together. And I don't even understand why your mom would want to see the film, and unless she's just hoping that she likes it because she's, you know, does she like any of the other Halloween movies? Because you said she hates 78, not hates it, but you said she doesn't like 78 or 18. Does she like any of the others? Because that might, you know, I would just say, Mom, it's Michael Myers tearing shit up, blood, guts, and gore, nonstop carnage. You want to watch it? That's what I would say to her. And if she's like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Well, then there you go. Oh my God, he's going to get hit by the car.
I love how like he just kind of
goes back.
He just looks at it like, okay, like I'm not going to move. I'm just going to sit here and look at the rolling car coming towards me. Like, all right. No, by the way, people are going to ask this question. I do not think this movie should be remade. I think it's perfect the way it is. I think they can explore more with this anthology type series and these different types of Halloween movies. I've said that many times. They could do a Netflix series, you know, and do a Halloween anthology thing. You know, with Carpenter at the helm, maybe helping creating the stories and whatnot, not necessarily directing it. But I definitely don't think this is a movie that needs to be remade because I think it is perfect the way it is. Because I don't think you can capture the charm that's the 1980s when this was made to begin with. It just won't have that same feel if they were to remake it today. Does that make sense? Yeah, no, it does. I'm open to a remake because I think this movie has a lot of untapped potential. However, I do acknowledge that you can explore that untapped potential that was left on the table with this movie in a actual sequel. The problem is that, you know, thinking like a studio, right? You know, the studio would probably want to reintroduce this story to the audience, not to us. We're already there. We're locked and loaded and ready to go day one, right? But to reintroduce it to the general movie-going audience, I can see them doing a soft reboot, like what they did with Halloween 18. It's Halloween, but it's not Halloween. You know what I mean? Like it's a sequel, but it's not. I could see them totally making a movie called just not Halloween, but just called Season of the Witch. I could see that. And it's a sequel, but it's a very loose, but it's kind of like a reboot as well. So this movie right here that we're watching does exist, but it kind of does, but it does. Like very much like what they've done with Scream or what they've done with, you know what I mean? And so I think, you know, calling the movie Scream. So I see, if I was a studio, like I'm trying to think like a studio, right? I would see them, and I would be okay with it, of them
remaking it completely, actually remaking it, because I think you can, I personally think there's an opportunity, but again, it's got to be the right people, got to be the right story. But I also would be open to them doing a direct sequel. And it's like 40 years later. And what happened? Like, what happened after he goes, stop it, stop it, stop it. It just cuts to black. Well, what happened? Like, what is the fallout from that? What's the ramifications of that? What are the residual effects? I mean, what happened to Dr. Chalice? What happened at that moment? There's a lot of untapped potential there that you could explore in a series or in a sequel film. But I'm not totally against remaking it either. But if it was the studio, I could see them kind of trying to have their cake and eat it too, and kind of like
definitely a sequel would be
do
cool.
a
Or as
soft
I said,
reboot.
like
I think they do a soft reboot. That's me though.
Soft reboot or a sequel, or like I said, a Netflix series. You can do a series if you didn't want to take if you didn't want to gamble with needing the theater tickets with you can just totally just release it to Netflix and just release it at every October for like 3 years.
Here he is.
There he is, the stud of the Halloween franchise.
Annie. Here's Annie's children. Hang on a second. I'm going to turn this up so we can hear a little bit of it.
She never died.
Okay.
She faked her death.
Look at her.
Went into hiding. She's hiding the scar on her neck. That's why she's wearing a popped collar.
Look at how fucking charismatic she is.
She is great. She is the oh crap. What was the chick's name in Gone with the Wind? What was the actress's name?
Oh, Clark Gable and no, not Clark Gable. Yeah.
But yeah, the actress, not the actor.
No, I know. I'm trying to think of the actress's name.
Crap, what's her name?
Super chat from Fast Forwards 289. Thanks, buddy. Says, "What's up, D&T? Dave, I watched some of your dad's McMinute episodes, and he's hilarious. I really like the shopping cart one. Those lazy slobs. Yeah, they're funny, aren't they? Yeah, they're really funny. I feel like I got I keep touching my nose, got some sort of hair, like a fluff that I think fell from the ceiling, and it's hit me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe this will help. I'll take one of this. There we go. Maybe that got rid of it. I don't know. Yeah, those McMinutes are old now. I mean, of course, that's when my dad was alive. He didn't want to do it, but he was like, oh, these little kind of fun things that are. I'm surprised they're still online. That's hilarious. Yeah, they were fun. That was like very close to the end of my dad's life. He died in 2011. Those are probably from like 2010, 2009, something like that. Yeah, Annie is just Annie. His wife in this movie is just boring. Why is he still holding the mask? Why is he still holding the mask? Wouldn't the mask have been taken? Like, I think the mask would have been taken by one of the doctors. Chat room, where do you put Halloween 3 in your ranking of all 11? I think there's 11 now, right? No, how many are there?
There's 11 films.
7.
About to be 12.
Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Vivian
right?
Lee, thank you. Nancy Loomis is the Vivian Lee in the Halloween franchise.
Oh, she is incredible. Where are people going to rank Halloween 3? When this movie came out, didn't get a lot of love. It's the black sheep of the family. Third, says Clifford Franklin. Third. That goes to show you how garbage the other Michael Myers movies are. When Halloween 3 can slip into your top like 3 or 4, 5, 5, that goes to show you how awful, because I don't think listen, I like Halloween 3. I do. I don't think it's a great movie, but I think it gets, in retrospect, it gets.
There it goes.
There's see, and she was fucking pissed.
Him. Yeah, well, she slapped him on the butt and he pinched her.
Wow. He wanted to do more than that.
I think that's Michael Myers.
Dick Warlock? It might be.
I think that's Tricky Dick.
Well, he wants to dick his Warlock. What does that even mean? I don't know. I was just going to say, though, I think Halloween 3 in retrospect gets a lot of love because I don't think it's a bad movie. Not at all. I like the story. It's interesting concept.
Do you know what it is? But if it wasn't titled Halloween, it would be a definitive great sci-fi 80s horror film.
Yeah,
it really would.
I'd say it'd be.
It's a sci-fi horror film, and it's a really good for the time,
Right,
80s,
right.
you know,
I
sci-fi horror film.
I agree with that. I agree that having the title Halloween 3 definitely hindered it. Absolutely. But I think in retrospect, what's happened is that because they went on to bring Michael Myers back, right? And 4 was acceptable. 4 wasn't too bad. It was a moderate success in terms of, you know, at the box office relative to, it wasn't a great movie, but it, you know, it was all right. And Michael was back. But when you got to 5 and 6, and then I know people like H2O, but then Resurrection, like people look back at the old films and they go, wow, like, you know, I hate to say it, but it's relative. It's in comparison. Like 3 was actually, everybody hated 3. The critics hated 3. I can tell you right now, Tony, you know, will remember this too. Growing up in the 80s, everybody hated, not everybody. I'm saying that, like, generally speaking, nobody liked 3 because it didn't have Michael Myers in it. It wasn't until
3 grew on you as an adult, and
as the other movies got shittier and shittier.
Yeah, that too.
That's basically what I'm trying to say, is that I think once you get served so much garbage, you look back at this and you go, well, this isn't actually that bad. This is actually pretty good.
No, this is Citizen Kane compared to the others.
Oh my God. What are some people saying here? The Sound Painters Studio says 1, 2, 4, 3. Fast Forwards 289 says, depends on my mood. Halloween 3 and 4 could flip-flop. Wow. Usually my order is H78, H281, then 4 or 3.
I totally get that, because Halloween 2 and 4 are flip-flopping in that 2 slot for me. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mood thing for me. Like,
right.
Tomorrow I could say Halloween 2 is number 2, and Halloween, I mean, the top 3 will always be cemented with Halloween, Halloween 2, and Halloween 4.
Right.
2 and 4 will just flip-flop.
Right.
But, you know, I mean, look, I don't want to overhype myself with Halloween Kills, but if Halloween Kills can land in that top 5 for me, I will be one happy camper. If it can get even into the 4 slot, I will be one happy camper.
Well,
it's not, I know it's not going to be the best Halloween. I want to enjoy it. And from what I saw, depending on how they execute these flashback scenes, and then everything else that I will eventually see here in 1 week from now, could be a good, could be a all around good film. God, I love this soundtrack, man.
Oh, the soundtrack is great.
Alan Howarth and fucking Carpenter crushed
the soundtrack.
it.
The soundtrack,
so good.
The soundtrack is fantastic.
I love listening to it every time, every October, because I'm breaking out all my horror on vinyl.
Although I do think, I love he's just pouring gasoline over his face. I do think Chalice's reaction here should have been more. Like, he just kind of goes like this, like it looks staged. I wanted to see more of a kind of a step back a little bit. You know, he just kind of goes, it just seems a little staged. But yeah, I mean, it's like, what the fuck is going on here? You know, Dr. Chalice. Dr. Chalice. I think, listen, how old's Tom Atkins? What, 110? You
He's forever young.
You could bring him back. You could bring him back.
Totally.
I guarantee you, if you reached out to Tom Atkins right now and said, Tommy, Atkins baby, we are going to do a Halloween 3 part 2. Are you in? He'd go, yeah, let's do it. No, he doesn't sound like that. He'd be like, let's do it. Now, I watched the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast episode of Halloween 3 as they were breaking it down, and I couldn't help but notice the firefighter off to the left over here. I believe it was Darren Sands that brought this up, and he's absolutely right. The little flap on the firefighter's helmet is waving back and forth. Like, what kind of, it looks like it's taped. What kind of fire helmet is, what is that? It looks like it looks like if he was to run into a burning building right now. Is he a firefighter? Is that who he is? I don't even know if that's who he is.
Never even noticed that.
See, the thing kind of looks like it's fucking taped. It looks like it's taped. It looks like it's taped. It looks ridiculous. Looks ridiculous.
I need to get me the replicas of these masks at some point.
Well, Trick or Treat Studios has them, I think.
Yeah, and they're actually pretty good.
Excuse me, Laurie. I'm sorry, Mr. Brackett. That's all right. You know, it's Halloween, and I'm not wearing any underwear.
I hate that. I hope that's not in the movie. I hope they cut that out. I did see that in the Return to Haddon film.
Oh, I bet it'll be in there.
And I was like, no, why did you have to say the fucking line again?
I'm surprised the car. Okay, it's the next morning, and the car that blew up is still in the parking lot, hasn't been taken away. It's steaming. It's still steaming. I guess it's a crime scene. I guess maybe that's why it hasn't been taken away. And there she is, folks. There she is. Now, maybe she's already like one of them right now. It means he has sex with like an android or something. Do you know this man? Do you recognize this penis, ma'am?
Ooh, maybe Halloween 3 Season of the Witch and They Live are all connected to the same universe.
Maybe Halloween 3 and Jaws 4 are connected in the same universe. I'm
not
just
sure how.
I don't know.
Sure how.
I don't know how, but it's entirely possible. Darren Sand says the asses have aligned, Tom, and want you back for a sequel. That's, oh my God, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that. There'd have to be a scene where, it shows that he's grown and he's no longer the misogynistic pig that he is in this movie. Like you have to show that he's had a change of heart. He's like, I can't sleep. Like there's a scene where he goes to grab a woman's ass and maybe he gets the crap kicked out of him or something. I don't know. Something like that. It's like, no.
Chester, why did they bring Dick Warlock in for Halloween 3 right after Halloween 2? I just think they just needed the bodies for the suit guys. And you have to remember, this is 1982.
Well, and he's a stuntman too. So I think he did some of this. I think he did some of the stunt coordinating on the film too.
Back then, no one was thinking like, well, he just played Michael, and no one was thinking that.
Nobody knew that, by the way, either. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to say that
at the time,
right?
No one knew he played Michael.
Well, no, I just mean like if you went to go watch the movie in the early
80s,
you wouldn't be like, that's the guy that played Michael. Nobody knew. It wasn't only until when the internet came around that people were like, oh, I know who what Dick Warlock looks like or what Nick Castle looks like. You know what I mean? For years, nobody knew what these people looked like.
Yeah. I mean, the only one that I knew growing up as a kid, I knew obviously Nick Castle.
Wilbur,
and I knew George.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like those were the ones that I only really, you know what I mean. Like because I didn't spend a lot of time watching the credits except at the end of 4.
Tony Moran.
You would hear the theme again, the Halloween theme again, and the same thing in the original film. You would hear the theme playing at the end.
Yeah,
but I didn't spend a lot of time watching the credits and seeing who was playing who.
Look,
except I know Tony Moran really played Michael throughout the whole franchise and even now.
Holy shit, she just kissed, like, he doesn't stop. This guy doesn't stop.
He's a pimp.
Fucking, is there a fucking nurse in this movie he hasn't banged? Do you think there's a nurse in the hospital he hasn't had sex with?
My goal in life, Tom Atkins. That's my goal in life.
He put his arm around her.
Friday the 29th.
I know. And then she gave him like a little soft kiss.
Wait. We got the commercial.
What the hell's going on? Oh yeah, the Halloween commercial. It's coming up. I'm turning it up. I'm turning it up.
Halloween's about to go meta.
Here it comes. I'm turning it up.
Hey, Charlie, can we have another
This is some Deadpool shit, man.
Here it comes.
Really is.
Here it is, okay? Here it is. Quiet. Here it is.
There it is.
The Immortal Classic.
The Immortal
Followed by
Classic.
the big giveaway at 9. Brought to you by...
I love it. The Immortal Classic. And it's only been out for like 3 years at that point, or 4.
I know. It's great. It's great. And that was Tommy Lee Wallace's voice again on the TV. Yeah. Tommy Lee Wallace
he has a very distinctive voice. You can totally tell.
Yeah, he does. Hello, Dr. Chalice. It's me.
Yeah, that's some meta Deadpool shit right there.
I mean, Jesus Christ, Chalice has probably banged the bartender. I mean, I don't think he discriminates. I think he's just like, whatever, everybody. But do you swing both ways? No, I don't, but fuck it, let's do it.
Exactly. My goal to be Tom Atkins from Halloween 3.
He's just,
you know what? That's going to be my Halloween costume. I have to get a wig.
Oh my God, that's a great costume.
Absolutely.
That's a great costume. Folks in the chat room, would you like to see a Halloween 3 Part 2? So a sequel to Halloween 3, a movie, people in the chat room, starring Tom Atkins or bringing Tom Atkins back. Maybe not starring him as the main lead because, he's a little old now. But I mean like bringing him back, or do you not care? Would you like to see Dr. Chalice return? Maybe he's 88, but he's still banging chicks. He's still like, maybe the film opens it in an old age home, and he's walking around like, grabbing the tushies of all these elderly women. And they're all like, oh, Tom. Oh, not Tom. They'd be like, oh, Dr. Chalice, stop it. Oh, come here, baby. That's how the movie begins. That might be the beginning of the film right there. That would just be terrible. But in the chat room, would you like to see Dr. Chalice return? That's what I want to know.
Do you know what I will say aesthetically with regards to Halloween 3? It does feel, because of the setting where they filmed this, and the small town vibe, it does feel like it's sort of in that Haddonfield area. You know what I mean? Not necessarily Haddonfield, but it's got that vibe to it. Like, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
like,
yeah. I know what you're saying. Yep.
The store that they're in right now, the small town hospital that he works at. It kind of had a Haddonfield Memorial Hospital vibe to it for the, where they filmed H2.
Yep.
I'm noticing that as we're watching right now. I'm like, damn, I'm getting Haddonfield vibes, even though I know it's not in Haddonfield.
Yeah. Well, it could be part and part two of Dean Cundy's your DP. So,
he's the DP in this?
I believe he is. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he is.
Is he really?
Yeah, he is.
I know Tommy Lee Wallace directed it.
The chat room right now is like, yep, he is. He is. So that could be part of it too. Obviously, he would have a specific style. Yeah, that's what's going down. Wait a minute. What is the chat room saying here? The chat room saying things like, wait a minute, where are we here? Chat room, I was asking about Tom Atkins. Robert Holston says, Tom Atkins is cool, but not every movie needs a sequel. That is true, Robert Holston. Robert Holston must be new here. Matthew Mills, Halloween 3 has gone from the black sheep of the series to the hidden gem. And I think that's largely in retrospect. I'm willing to bet that if they never made another Halloween movie after Halloween 3, people would look back at this and still think Halloween 3 sucked, because you would have the first two to compare it against. But now you have Halloween 3 to compare against, 5 and 6 and 8. And you know what I mean? Like, you have so many bad ones. So it's kind of like, this isn't that bad, whatever. But there's a few people here saying they wouldn't mind him returning. There's others saying that they don't want him returning. They don't even want a sequel, some people are saying. Look at this nice country drive.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is like Halloween 4 vibes. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
so I feel like we're
around here
in that. Yeah. Or even here in Georgia.
Yeah.
It just, so it has that Halloween Haddonfield feel to it. Yeah, you could, now that I'm like watching like how shots are being framed here. Yeah. You can totally see it's Dean Cundy. I mean, like, nice leading lines, using that rule of third. Yeah.
Harry Hagan sends in $10. Thank you, Harry. And says, I have H3 third last, right above Rob Zombie's H1, Rob Zombie's H2, which is dead last. I feel the opposite of Tony. I think had H3 not been associated with Halloween, it would have been forgotten like Night of the Creeps. It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. Yeah, it's hard to say. There were a lot of horror movies, B-movie kind of horror films that came out in the early 80s. Early to mid 80s, that there's a lot of them that have been forgotten. There's only a few that sort of cross over that threshold and become sort of like, oh, I remember that. But there's a lot that, like, I mean, even Terror Train is terrible. I don't like that movie at all. But
Terror Train, yeah, I know.
Oh, it's boring as fuck. Just don't like it. There was a lot of movies like that, and maybe Halloween 3 might have been one of them. Maybe not. I guess. We have to remember that Halloween 3 was not a success. It wasn't a critical success. And even a lot of fans, not that there weren't some fans way back in the 80s that liked it. Of course there were. But generally speaking, it's more liked now than it was when it came out. And there's a lot of movies that happens to. But I can't help but feel that it's largely because, not maybe only, but largely because there's been so many other bad movies after it. So when you go and look at the series as a whole, you go, hey, well, this is that cool little one. It's got some cachet to it. It's got a neat thing about it. It's the only anthology movie. It's special, right? It's gone from being special in a bad way to being special in a good way. And that happens, in a lot of cases. And when you look at it from a certain point of view, it is an interesting story that I've always thought is sort of untapped potential. I think there was a lot more they could have done if they had a bigger budget.
For sure. Ambition 25. No, I believe Rob Zombie's film, the first Halloween was filmed in California. Part 2, a lot of it was filmed here in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken. Because in fact, I think where Rob Zombie filmed the first one, his first one, is in the same area where Carpenter filmed 78.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, yes, yeah. The first Halloween with Rob Zombie. Because do you remember when Lori Scout Taylor, whatever her name is, when she's looking out the window and she's looking down and she sees Tyler Mane standing there looking up at her, right? That actually is in front of the original Strode house. It's actually impossible to get that vantage point because across the street from the Strode house is actually the Pasadena Public Library. And there is no school there that you could be up a couple of floors, look down and see. So that's movie magic. That's a bit of sort of, they're two completely different spots, but the way it's cut together makes it look like that. But if you look at the house behind him as he's there on the sidewalk, that's the Strode house. That's the house that Laurie comes out of at the beginning of the original film. He did shoot a lot in that area to sort of capture that vibe. But I think Tony's right. I don't think he shot there for part 2. I think he was in Georgia.
No, he was in Georgia for, I know where he shot in part 2. I've been to the filming locations out here. Actually, where he shot in part 2 is where they filmed a lot of Jason Lives, Friday the 13th, part 6. Like the downtown area where you see Scout walking at the beginning. That's like literally to the left of her is where they used the Crystal Lake, whatever it was, Forest Green police station, and where they filmed part 6. The house where Annie Daniel Harris and her dad Chucky Brad Dourif, where they live, that's out in Covington, Georgia as well too. So a lot of Halloween 2 was filmed out here. Some was filmed in California as well too.
Cool. Yeah, I still got that fluff or something. I don't know. Some little like fluff that I can feel that's kind of come down and it's settled on my nose or something. And it's kind of now that's Tom Atkins' real wife. That not now. At the time, that's who he was married to.
Now I know why he was flirting so much.
Well, he said, "Hey, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. It's a joke. It's a joke. I don't even have the rim shot raised. It's a joke. Calm down, ladies and gentlemen.
So mean. I'm so mean.
You're so mean. But, hey, it's reality. I don't even think they were together that long after this movie. Let me just see here. I got to check this out. How long were they together after this movie? Because, maybe this was the catalyst that started the whole shebang, no pun intended. So let me go over to...
Tom Atkins became a pimp, and the rest is history. So
it was, I believe it was, yes, it was Garn Stevens. And it just says that they're divorced. It doesn't say when they divorced. I mean, I probably could find it if I did a bit of digging, but nothing immediately that comes up. Sometimes on Wikipedia, they'll have like a date to date, but they don't have that.
That line.
Oh, it's cheesy as hell, man.
Oh, my God.
It's the cheesiest fucking line.
So basically, Tom Atkins and her just basically show up to a motel and like, yep, now we're going to fuck.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
I mean, like, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, 100%. I know exactly what you mean. Diamond Rattler sends in $2, says, what up, burps? BRPS? Brips?
Bros.
Oh, that's bros?
Yeah, it's got to be bros.
It's got to be bros. Maybe
because the O and the P are right next
to
each
other.
You're
right. You're right. What up, burps? No, it's burps. What up, burps?
What up, burps?
Not much, Diamond. How you doing? We are 32 minutes and 10 seconds into the movie here. Welcome to Santa Maria, home of Silver Shamrock Novelties.
We're getting into that time of year where 6 o'clock is going to be sunset.
Well, let's see. It's 7:04 right
close.
now, and it's pretty dark out. I'm looking outside right now. It's pretty dark.
It's getting there for us. I'm a little bit further south.
That's true.
Than you, so
yep. Oh, it's pretty dark.
Our sun fully goes down between 7:30 and 8 right now still.
Yeah. Here's the cat. The cat came back the very next day. The cat came back. That alley looks like it could be something out of a Michael Myers movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, Tom Atkins does get gropey and he leaves his wife or his ex-wife with the kids to go and bang some woman he's hardly met at a motel.
Literally. They just literally show up to a hotel or a motel
Literally.
and I mean, literally, like, there's like, she just sat down on the bed and he makes a phone call. And now we're going to bang.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's already done it. Now he's bringing back some wine or whatever. Or he bumps into this. That's a cheap scare. We don't have enough scares. Have some bum come out of the shadows and bump into Chalice. That's what it is. Zach Gaxiola says, Dave, of all the returning characters in Halloween Kills, whose death do you feel would hurt the most or have the biggest emotional impact on you? For me, it would be Brackett. On me, it would be Laurie. I think.
Fuck that! I'm gonna be fucking drinking champagne and fucking getting drunk like I'm Keith Richards in my 20s if Laurie dies.
I'm thinking of it in terms of like the story serving the whole thing. That's what I'm thinking about. That's what I'm thinking about.
I would be bummed. Honestly, I would be bummed. I'll be bummed if they kill off Lindsay or Tommy.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll be bummed.
I just want them to kill
because of the innocence of them with them being kids. You know what I mean? And yeah, that would just suck. Got a feeling it's probably going to happen. Yeah, that's going to suck.
Yeah.
But no, Laurie dying, I'm partying like it's fucking 1999.
Exactly. Sorry, just responding to somebody here. Yeah, I think it's something the fuck was I reading there? There was something I saw that I wanted to comment on. I forget what it is now. I forget. Oh, I got distracted. No big deal. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. For those of you that are just joining us, where do you rank this? Where do you rank this in your list of Halloween movies? I would love to know. Let me know.
Look, I mean, say what we want. Tommy Lee Wallace did a really good job directing this movie. I mean, he really did.
He did. Yes, he did.
I like what he's doing. Never had any complaints with it.
I agree. No, he's done a good job. He's done
Obviously,
a good job.
having a guy like Cundy, being your cinematographer definitely helps. Carpenter scoring it with Howarth definitely helps. Did Carpenter write this or no? Did he have his hands on it?
Carpenter had his hands on something in this movie. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if, well, hang on.
Did Deborah Hill have anything involvement in it?
So we got Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. It was written by Tommy Lee Wallace, directed by Tommy Lee Wallace. John Carpenter did the music with Alan Howarth.
Yeah, I knew that.
Deborah Hill, and was produced by John and Deborah.
And Deborah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's got the team. It's got the core team involved.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is.
Michael
There
Myers.
he is. Looks like he's. Oh!
Honestly, that might be Dick Warlock. No.
That's did you see the blood spurting out? That, you know what? I think Dick Warlock's got some incredible hair. Like this
great
waft.
Hair.
It's great hair.
Kidding me? Great hair.
Great hair.
Definitely that I would rank that as his second best kill in this franchise. His number one kill, which is my favorite kill,
right,
is in the temple or the eye there, Janet from Halloween 2. That just because anything near that region, it bugs me out.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just moving around here and stuff. I agree. It's a okay. There we go. Sorry. Busy. Things are busy. Things don't slow down. Where's the fucking chat? There you guys are. Yeah, that's Tom Atkins' real wife. So it's like, before you pretend to fuck my real husband. That's what's happening right here. There's a thing that's happening. Yeah. Tom Atkins' real wife, folks. Darren says Carpenter wrote the screenplay with Wallace, and the guy who wrote, did he really? Really? Oh, because he's not. Oh, the screen. Well, hang on. Let me just see here. I think, you know what? That actually does ring a bell. It just says written by Tommy Lee Wallace on Wikipedia, but in the credits, it probably says Carpenter. So I will take that. Admittedly, I mean, I admit, in terms of Halloween 3, there's not. What the hell? I thought I put this fucking phone on.
There's 80s nudity with the kind of foggy shower door there. Yeah, that's right. 80s nudity, not really nude. There's Tom Atkins. That's what I'm saying. That's 80s nudity for you. We're not going to show you it, but we're going to show you it.
Come on. I mean, there's always, listen, if you had a choice, everybody would be chomping at the bit for come on, you know? Private, although I will say I do like her death scene. Atkins' real wife, I do like. Look at it. He probably banged this woman.
Absolutely.
He's banging everybody. Like the guy is just a one big. He's
the Hugh Hefner of the Halloween franchise.
Look at him. Look at the stash. This was 82. I think this is pre-Magnum PI. No. Magnum PI was.
No, Magnum PI was out by now.
I think you're right. Yeah, because Raiders was 81, and Tom Selleck was supposed to be Indiana Jones, and then couldn't because of Magnum. So you're right. I think Magnum was maybe. Hey Google, what year was Magnum PI? Should tell me the first season. Here's what I understood from Wikipedia. The series ran from 1980 to 1980. Ooh, 1980. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Google. Shut up. Okay, you can be quiet now. I don't need any more information. Quiet, Google. Stop. It's annoying when
Tommy. Get it, Tommy.
Look at the way he's touching the ass. There is. She's lying down. Are you ready, Dr. Chalice?
I love that late 70s, early 80s porno music going right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yep. And to be totally honest with you folks, I've never been in one and I've never shot one myself, obviously, but I know quite a few actors, and doing a sex scene in a movie is everything but hot.
Enjoyable. Right. It sucks because you're on set. You got people in front of you telling you what to do.
And sometimes it can be choreographed depending on what it is. And this is just the reality of life. You aren't always attracted to your partner. So that is true. So I know quite a few people that have done love scenes or sex scenes over the years, and they say that, hey, you know what? Sometimes you luck out, and you happen to the person your dance partner for this scene is easy on the eyes. That's great, but not necessarily. And you got to pretend like they're fucking everything in the world, right? So, and you have to, and there's it would depend on the set and depend on the comfortability of the actors and things like that. But generally, you have at least the director there, the DP there, first and second assistant camera. You have people looking at you, and stuff. And it's and like I said, it's often choreographed. So it's everything but hot.
Knowing, we all know with Jamie Lee Curtis's personality, she wanted to play Linda, and she would have been great at it.
Oh, she would have been.
She would have totally gotten into it because Jamie Lee has no shame. She's like, "You want me to show boobs?
No.
All right, let's do it." You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, she has shame whatsoever.
Can you imagine Jamie Lee? No, I'm not trying to put
as Linda
PJ Souls down, but can you imagine Jamie Lee opening her top, seeing anything you like?
Yeah, we'd all be like, "Yeah."
Like, holy Jesus!
I think Trading Places confirmed that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Darren Sand says, Atkins loved it, Dave. Don't you worry about that. It's second nature to him. It's true. Now, again, this is Atkins' real life wife, and she's about to kick the bucket here. Here she goes. She's playing somebody that looks so homely, too. And everything. Oh! And look at him. As Tom Atkins is fake fucking another woman, his real life wife is getting killed.
She says, "Who's that?" And he's like, "Who cares?" He probably really meant that, too.
Oh, my God. And I bet you when they watched this movie afterwards, his wife was like, "Did you really mean that?" "No, honey, it's just, honey, it was in the script." "I had the script, Tom. It wasn't in the script."
Yeah, this is a good kill though. It's kind of an iconic kill for sci-fi.
Yeah, it's great. It's the best
kill
in this movie.
Featured a lot. You see a feature. Well, I don't know, the kid with the mask on.
Yeah.
You know, during the commercial, that's pretty intense.
Yeah.
But you know, in movie montages, especially horror sci-fi films, you always see that scene with Tom Atkins' wife. You know, her face getting all fucked up and shit.
Yep. It's the best kill in this movie. Look at that fucking naked. He's naked. Exactly. Now he had a hell of an ass. She should have just slapped his ass. The whole movie is just a bunch of ass slapping. It's called Season of the Slap.
I won't be shot if this video gets taken down.
Halloween 3 Season of the Slap. That's what they should have called it. God, he's gropey in this film. What the hell? Of course, it's 1982. Kind of sucks that she died too.
Listen, it's the 80s. Cocaine and sex, man. That's all it was.
Halloween 3, cocaine and sex.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh man. Look at all these guys in these white coats. These 80s hairdo. I love the car. Here he is. The godfather of Silver Shamrock right here. Happy Halloween. That's how he says it. Happy Halloween. Imagine he went, happy ha 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 ha. Are you okay, sir? Ha ha ha. I love it. I love it. Did I miss any super chats? I don't think I did. What was the last one that came in? I have a feeling I did. I did. Diamond Rattler sends in $2, says, face to face with Myers, you go to attack? No, I run. I'm not going to attack Myers. Well, it depends. I mean, if I did miss a few. If Myers is actually like attacking somebody I love, like my girlfriend or something, well then yeah, I'm going to attack him. Movie Chat and More sends in £2, says, is it true Carpenter hated Halloween 2? Yeah, pretty much. Happy Sanjo sends in $2 and says, big fan of you and Tony and these streams. Thanks. No problem, Happy Sanjo. Thank you very much for sending in $2. Yeah, Movie Chat and More. He wasn't a big fan. I mean, he did it because they paid him to do it and he wrote the script, but he's acknowledged later on that, yeah, I wrote it. I took the money.
6-pack, pizza and beer.
Yeah.
And cigarettes.
Yeah. But he said, if I'm being honest with you, the story was complete. I had to make it up to continue it, and I had to write how she was a sister and all that kind of stuff, whatever. And listen, it worked. A lot of people liked it, but it wasn't the point of the first movie. So if you were, there's a lot of interviews where he speaks unfavorably of part 2. I mean, whatever. It's John Carpenter. He's grumpy. See, he's calling her. Look at her. She's totally like. Oh, yeah.
I will say though that she is hot. I mean, she's hot, and the robot chick is hot too.
When are you coming back? The robot chick. Yeah, that's what's her face. Stacy Nelkin. I always forget her name. Stacy Nelkin as Ellie Grimbridge. Miss Grimbridge. Dr. Chalice. Dr. Chalice. Yeah, I still have that. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
I have to go and wipe it down later or something. I don't know. Some weird fluff. You know when you got like a hair, like a very thin hair, like a cat. It's probably a cat hair that's got stuck to my nose and it's just itching or something. And because it's so fine, you just, you got to go wash your face to get rid of it. Here, we'll try this again. There we go. That should do it. Yeah, this town looks. I like this creepy town. It's almost like Children of the Corn kind of town too, a little bit.
Yes. Chester, yes, Carpenter did do the score with Howard for Halloween film. Halloween 2, as it says, Halloween 2, music composed and performed by John Carpenter in association with Alan Howarth.
There you go. And I believe they just layered it. Like they layered the synth over what he had done. Something to that effect. I bet you Chalice has fucked this older woman here. He wants her right now. He totally wants her. He's thinking right now that, well, maybe I could. I don't know. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
Ooh, speaking of vinyl, you know what I picked up today when I was out and about because I was near my vinyl store for a shoot that I had?
What's that?
You remember this album, Evanescence?
I do remember that. 2004?
This is a fucking great album. Yeah.
Was that 04?
They finally released it on vinyl, and I was like, yep, you're coming home with me. Yeah. She's got one of my favorite like female vocals, Amy Lee. Fucking love her voice.
She's a good singer. Chalice is hoping to stick around and bang this entire family right now. I know, it's bad. I do have to admit, though, the kid that dies in this movie, it's a good death scene. I like that the kid died.
Absolutely.
I think my
kids dying back in the day.
No, unless it was Assault on Precinct 13 when John Carpenter actually had a 13-year-old girl shot point blank right in the chest, which happened to be the older sister of Kyle Richards, who was I believe it was. I believe the little girl that got killed in Assault on Precinct 13 was the older sister of Kyle Richards, however you say her name. I believe so. But I think in Halloween Kills, I think there should be at least 42 deaths of children. Like those kids that are on the swings should die violently.
Absolutely. Look, my expectation.
We need to control the world population here.
My expectations for Halloween Kills is followed. I want to see 152 kids die. Nothing less.
Wow, 152 kids. 152 kids. Yeah. And the excuse is we're just trying to control the world population.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you'd like to.
We'd love to.
We'd love to.
We'd love to.
How old is Tom Atkins in this movie? Hey, Google, what year was Tom Atkins born?
Tom Atkins wasn't born. He was just always there.
Hey, Google, what year was Tom Atkins born?
He was born on November 13th, 1935.
Oh, 1935. Okay, so yeah, he's almost 50 here. It's 47. Yeah, I guess I could buy that. Did I miss any other super chats? I don't believe I did. Feel free to send them in, though, folks. Remember, a $5 million super chat will
we'll be watching Halloween for the next 10 years.
Well, no. Over the next year, Tony and I will watch nothing but Halloween for a $5 million super chat. Can you imagine?
Are you kidding me? I do it.
Well, fuck yeah, of course.
Fuck yeah.
We'll do it.
Get $2 million and call it a day and retire.
We'll do it. We shall do it. Do it now. Come on. It's great. Come on.
It's fantastic.
Hey, that was pretty good. That wasn't bad. Movie Chat More sends in £2, says, what's the deal with Yablon suing Carpenter? Oh, that was over a picture deal, I believe. It was over something in the early 80s. It was contractual. It was something contractual. There was some sort of, I got to brush up on it, but there was something contractual where Carpenter, they had agreed that Carpenter would direct the next movie or something, and then he backed out to do they had agreed they would do The Fog together, but then they didn't do The Fog together, and then it was a contractual producing, directing sort of thing. I do know what it is, but it's the details are escaping me at the moment, but it was something like that. Yeah, it was a thing. It was a contractual thing. And listen, if John Carpenter did breach his contract, like I'm all for like, if I don't care who the fuck you are, if you actually do breach your contract, well, then you don't have a legal leg to stand on, right? And sometimes people do. Sometimes people do actually just try to get out of shit. And it's like, well, you signed a fucking contract. You can't. But yeah, it was something in that realm. Yeah, Frank's like the dead dwarf gag. I'm offended. Yeah, you can't even say that anymore. I don't even know what is it. Little people or small people? I can't remember. I don't know what the correct thing is anymore. I really don't keep up with it. I should, but it's just too exhausting because it changes too often. Tom Atkins has got that beige kind of windbreaker on, like he's channeling his inner Dr. Loomis. So, folks, Tom Atkins in Night of the Creeps, Tom Atkins in Halloween 3, or Tom Atkins in The Fog. The Fog, folks. For me, I don't think The Fog gets enough love. Whenever I see people do their top 5 favorite Carpenter films ever, The Fog never ends up in there. Folks in the chat room, where do you put The Fog in your list of Carpenter films? The Fog has a fucking amazing soundtrack, by the way. It's a great soundtrack. And Atkins is horny in that movie, too. I think Atkins is horny in every movie he's in. He just might be an actual horny man. Maybe, maybe he just is. I don't know. I'd be curious to know where the chat puts The Fog. Look at this kid. That's right. Happy Halloween. Brandon Barry sends in $4.99, says, sorry, I'm late, Dave. That's all right. It's okay. You're not late for work or anything. Don't know if this was addressed. Jason Blum said the other day he's interested in revisiting Season of the Witch. He didn't say that. It was one of the producers that said that. Jason Blum, I don't believe, said that specifically. What Jason Blum said is, and rightly so, a good producer would say this, money, 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 money. He said that I am open to keeping Halloween going after Halloween ends. But what he didn't say and what he didn't specify was what that means. Remember, I've always said that, Halloween will continue in some sort of fashion, but what is the fashion? Does Michael Myers continue? Do you put Michael Myers to bed for a while and let it breathe and go on and do something else related and all that kind of stuff? Who knows? As you know, I personally think they should end Michael Myers as we know it. So it's the story connected to the 78 original and the film as we know it, because as I've always said,
I want my Michael Myers versus Freddy versus Jason versus Leatherface versus Chucky.
Well, there's people out there that would love that. So I would like to see that story end, and then you wait a while and maybe you reboot it for a new audience or something. Who knows? But will Halloween continue? Sure. It's just that what does that look like moving forward? Is that a series? Is that an anthology series? Is that Season of the Witch or whatever it is? But I don't think Blum specific. From what I'm remembering from the article, it wasn't Blum that said that mentioned Season of the Witch that got people all excited. And they didn't even say that they were doing that. They just said that, that's an option. Like how I've said it's an option, how you've said it's an option. You know what I mean? They said the same because they recognize that because it's the logical choice. It's the only other thing in the Halloween universe that isn't Michael Myers. So it's sort of like, it's kind of like,
and it's not a bad time. It's not a bad time to revisit it after Halloween ends.
Yeah.
The timing to revisit it, to keep while the iron's hot, so you're not overkilling. No pun on the kills, but not overkilling Michael Myers.
Yep. I agree.
You got something there. Go for it.
I agree totally. And so, nothing is in stone, but one of the producers on the film, I forget his name now. He did say, yeah, that's an option. Maybe we'll do that, or maybe we'll do, but it could easily just as not be. But it doesn't surprise me because, like I just said, I mean, it is Exhibit A. I mean, it's the logical choice. There's other things they could do. They could do something new that we've never seen. They could do Charlie Bowles. They could do, who knows, right? But Season of the Witch is just like they're looking at them going, hi. So it's like, well, yeah, it's kind of obvious that that's what they would probably turn to, that if it wasn't Michael, right? So, but yeah, I believe it was one of the producers that had casually said that. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. Full Time for Life sends in $2 and says, that bottle looks heavy. Well, yeah. Although I do like that scene. I think we just passed it where Dick Warlock is in the middle of all those guys and they all begin to walk forward at the same time, whatever. I think we just passed it, or maybe it's coming up. Fuck, I can't remember. It's a cool shot though. It's like, they're in unison and it's like this zombie kind of thing. It's cool. cool. Did anybody talk about The Fog, or did I miss it? Reese Wilson says The Fog is in my top 5. The score being my favorite Carpenter score. I know that. I know Reese is a big fan. I know Darren from The Slaughtered Lamb is a big fan. Horror 311 says that The Fog is 4th for me. Okay, cool. MagaCat says 4. Okay, cool. So we got some Fog fans in the chat here. Yeah, it's usually not one that you see too often. I usually see, you'll see The Thing, Halloween, They Live, Big Trouble in Little China. You'll see kind of that. Escape from New York. But you don't usually see The Fog. I think The Fog is great. I think The Fog soundtrack is really great. Yeah, for sure. Anthony Bazzuto sends in $1.99, says, Tony, you ever go to Trail of Terror in Wallingford?
Wallingford. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's hometown. That's hometown Connecticut, man.
What is Trail of Terror?
It's a Halloween thing that they did in Connecticut every year. Towards before I left Connecticut, it was fun, but like it became like so overcrowded that like it almost was not enjoyable. You know what I mean?
I gotcha. Yeah.
Because it became so popular and it was a popular thing too. And I get it. Everybody was going.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things back in Connecticut that they used to do, and that's where I met quite a few actors there. I met the guy who played Leatherface in Chainsaw Massacre 3. I got his autograph.
Cool.
I forget his name now, and I got the autograph somewhere around here. But in Hartford, there was an old G Fox building. G Fox, which was originally Macy's before Macy's bought it out and became Macy's, was a department store, and they had a multi-layer building, level, whatever, floor in Hartford. And they basically turned that into like one giant haunted like maze and shit for a few years. It was
very cool.
So much fun. Problem is Hartford became like the gang capital of the world and like 15th on the most dangerous cities to live in. And like people stopped going to Hartford because they were afraid of getting robbed and shot. So it was just unfortunate. So then Trail of Terror came into play in like you said, in Wallingford, and that's where everybody ended up going to. There was another cool one, a little bit smaller. It was up in Ellington, Connecticut. Ellington, Connecticut, it's kind of like Haddonfield, actually. It's a farm town. It's just cornfields and cornfields. And they had a haunted cornfield maze type thing and whatnot. That was all right. But the Trail of Terror was fucking the shit.
That's
until
cool.
It got just overcrowded.
This is really creepy.
I'm sure you guys got that shit in Canada, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yes, we do. That's creepy with the head falls off this lady and shit. It's creepy shit. And you just see like, the mechanics. It's like, what the fuck is going on? And yeah, the hand is just continuing to like, go around and around. I like that stuff. It's cool. He gets tossed over. I wonder if that was Dick Warlock doing that stunt. Might have been. Oh, there's Dick Warlock right there.
There he is.
There he is. The man, the myth, the man, look how fast he comes back after the punch. It's great.
I give him, for now, I would give him a nice, comfortable 3 spot. What I'm saying, 3 spot as far as ranking who played Michael.
For sure, he's up there. For me, he still even might be. For me, he might be 2. He might be 2. It's. I got to see what James does in Kills and whatnot. But I need more time with James.
Right. But yeah, he's. I just I love everything that they did. God, this movie's loud in my ears. Everything. That's why I'm like shouting. In Halloween 4, I'm like shouting, even though you guys can't hear it, but I'm shouting because it's so loud in my ears.
Yeah, I have the movie like down, like I can hear it, but it's down low. Like I can hear you.
Yeah, George P. Wilbur will always have that sentimental love in that 2 spot for Halloween 4. I know everyone's gonna be like the mask, and I agree with the mask, but listen, it was the 80s. Everybody was wearing shoulder pads.
That's true. That is true.
It's true. But yeah, Dick Warlock's Michael, man. Look, that walk from outside the hospital when he's walking to Lori. It's a great walk. It's
Mm-hmm.
that whole sequence, the buildup when he's chasing her is really good. Look, I know there's certain scenes when he's walking down the stairs, he looks like a fucking robot. I get that. And very stiff, but there's some moments.
No, in part
like,
2 is great. Oh yeah, there's some great moments
from like
when he's chasing Lori outside when she's.
It's totally great. Or even at the beginning when he's walking and he goes into the Elrod's house.
Yeah.
Or not Elrod's house.
Yeah.
Elrod's?
Yeah. Elrod's,
Elrod's house, and then he goes kills Alice. Like that whole, he's good there. He's flowing. But yeah, I know there's a couple scenes where he's a little stiff. Also could be the angle because they were doing an upshot on him. And maybe he did, he was just conscious of not fucking falling down onto the camera.
Well, I think he but that's the thing too, is that back then he wasn't given any direction on how to play. Like nobody intellectualized this until later on. He was just a guy walking around. So Dick has said many times, he says, nobody told me how to walk. They didn't tell me to emulate Nick. They didn't tell me anything. So I just chose to walk like the way I did. And nobody said anything not to do that. So that's why he did that. So, I like Frank here. Only Atkins can kill the boogeyman.
That's true.
It's true. Atkins killed him.
Yeah,
he killed him.
Mr.
And
J,
the
I gotta see the guy who plays Michael in Halloween Kills in the flashback sequence. I gotta see it in motion. I gotta see how I gotta see the movie and see how it all works. But from what I'm seeing, it looks really good. But we'll see what happens when the movie comes out. And crazy, man, we're finally here.
I know. It's almost time.
It seems like it's been forever, but I mean. So now, are you watching it in the theaters? I'm watching it at home. I got Peacock. I bought it last night.
Peacock. Imagine if it was called Cockpea. It's called Cockpea, Tony. It's not Peacock.
Yeah, exactly.
It's called Cockpea. Hey, you guys watching it on Cockpea? Who's watching it on Cockpea right now in the chat room? Who's watching it on Cockpea and who's going to the theater? Let's see. Let's take a poll right now. Can I do a poll? Fuck, I can do a poll. Shit, I know I can do a poll live. I'm doing it. Fuck it, we're doing it live.
Doing it live. Who's
watching Halloween Kills in no, hang on. Where are you watching Halloween? We're doing this. Kills. Here we go. Oh no, it's a yes or no poll. Oh, I can change that, right? Oh, it's a yes or no poll. Oh, okay. I guess I can't. Oh, no, I can add another option. Okay, so maybe I can just, so movie. Yeah, I can do that. Movie theater. Hang on, folks. Poll's coming. Movie theater. Okay. Cockpea. Peacock. Or don't give shit. And don't say both, because I know you're going to do it both. I'm just saying. This is first time. Will not watch it. Okay. All right. Ask my community. I've asked the community. I put the poll in. This is the first time I've done this. Oh, wait. Where is the poll? Maybe the poll is on my community section. I'm not sure.
Probably in your community section.
Maybe it is in my community section. I thought it was going to go into the chat room here, though. Oh, no. There it is. Oh, okay. So, yeah. Cockpea, Peacock. Can you see it? It says Cockpea.
Yeah, I selected.
Oh, okay.
My Cockpea.
Your Cockpea. Yeah, that's. Who's watching it on the Cockpea? Is anybody? I don't know what's going on now, but fuck, I can't even find the chat room. I got too many windows open. Okay, there we go.
Wow, actually, more people are watching it on Peacock than I thought. I thought most people would be watching it in theater. I didn't think that many would be watching it on Peacock.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see now remember, I know you're eventually going to watch it on Peacock, obviously, folks, but I'm talking about like first time. Are you going to the theater first time?
First viewing, yeah.
Right. I'm not talking about after you get back or, the next week. I'm talking about when it's released on the 15th of October. What are you doing? Theater or Peacock? That's what
7% said they will not watch it. That's
bullshit. 7% say they're not watching it.
Bullshit.
Bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Come on. I'm not buying that shit. Get the fuck out of here. Matthew, hang on. Some super chats came in here. Let me see if I can get these. Matthew
Although
Foresi.
we should let them know what we are doing on Halloween night, so it gives them enough time to order Peacock.
We will.
Right.
Matthew Foresi sends in $4.99, says 1, Nick Castle, 2, James Jude Courtney, 3, Dick Warlock. The rest don't measure up, even though I love Halloween 4. Shanks and Durand are awful.
I get that.
Yeah, I get it totally.
I look, I understand. Look, I mean, Halloween 4 for me, I've said it a million times and I'm never going to change. I mean, I love that movie. It's the first Halloween I ever saw and my love for it will never change, regardless of the mask, regardless of Surfer Michael Myers in the school. God damn. Like who on set that day wasn't paying attention? I don't know.
Wasn't at all.
Everybody apparently.
Nope.
Like, but I just look, it is what it is and I love it. And
no, there's nothing wrong with that.
Wilbur will always be in that number 2 slot for me, just out of pure sentiment. You know,
George P, baby. George Cock P.
George
Hey,
P.
Movie Chat and More sends in £5 and says,
but he could have used a little Jenny Craig before Halloween 6.
Well, I think he ate Jenny Craig. Good night, everybody. I'll be here all week. Movie Chat and More sends in £5 and says, watching a horror movie every night in October. So far, The Exorcist, Paranormal Activity, and 1990s Night of the Living Dead. Good so far. Guys, that's good. That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. A lot of people do that. I don't do that. Funny enough, I don't care to watch a horror movie every night in October, but I celebrate that you do, and I think it's awesome to those who do, for sure. I think that's really cool, actually.
I'm actually doing that, but I'm actually doing it with old films.
Yeah,
like
old films.
I'm in the middle of, although it's technically, it sort of is, but it's not. I'm watching. I'm gonna finish it tonight when we finish our stream. James Cagney, Man with a Thousand Faces. He's playing Valon Chaney Sr. Character.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever seen that.
No, I know what you're talking about though.
Great movie, and I'm watching like the Dracula, the Frankenstein.
There goes the kid. Sorry, dude. I sorry to interrupt. Just the kid's dying here. The kid's dying. The kid's dying. Interruption. Turn it up. Turn it up.
Ow!
And the mother's going, honey, what's honey? Like, look at honey. I'd be racing over there to my child right now. I wouldn't be like slowly getting up. I'd be racing over there and be like, holy fuck, what's going? I love this. All the bugs look like they're crickets or something, or cockroaches maybe, or no, they look like crickets. Maybe they're cockroaches. I don't know my bugs. Frank? Snakes. I love it. I love it. Oh, it's intense shit. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's great. The child is dying. The child is dying. Kill the children. Well, and that's what this movie is about. I mean, people who are just tuning in or watching after the fact.
Die. Kid, die.
Halloween 5. Die.
You little shit. Die.
Listen, people can call me morbid for wanting kids to die in this movie, but this movie is all about killing children. That's what this movie is.
That's the premises of this film. I mean, who's buying the mask?
That's what I'm saying. It's to kill children in this movie. That's what this is. That's totally what this is.
One might say Tommy Lee Wallace did not like kids.
He didn't. No, I think it was John Carpenter. Matthew Foresi sends in $1.99, says, do you guys have a favorite Twilight Zone episode? I don't.
I never really got into that.
I love the Twilight Zone, but I have to revisit it to watch it, to brush up on it, to know what it is. I mean, I know what it is, but I mean, to know what my favorite is, I mean.
I never got really into...
I love when they tie Dr. Chalice up here in a second and they play the Halloween film is playing on the TV, which makes perfect sense because they don't have to like, but they don't
totally
have to,
meta.
But it's their own film. So they don't have to pay, it's not like that. You know what I mean? It's great. I love it. I thought that was Gary Coleman for a minute.
This is what I got lined up right now. Currently, I got Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, Creature of the Black Lagoon, Werewolf of London, the 1935, Dracula's Daughter, Son of Frankenstein, Son of Dracula, The Raven, Phantom of the Opera, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein and the Wolfman. God, love that movie.
Nice.
The Invisible Man Returns, The Invisible Woman, The Invisible Man's Revenge, The Mummy's Hands, The Mummy's Tomb, The Mummy's Curse, The Mummy's Ghost, The Creature Walks Among Us. That's what I got currently right now.
Cool. That's a lot.
The Fly.
I got to say, not to interrupt you here, but one of my favorite shots, like Can we just say how awesome the Halloween 3 poster is? The Halloween 3 poster,
It's fucking great.
the official theatrical poster is amazing. And I love, I think it's in the movie, right? The silhouette of the kids against the orange sky as they're it's fucking creepy. It's like, yeah, we're here, right here.
It's
Phoenix, Arizona. This shot. Yeah. This is such a great, just the orange ominous sky with these kids, you know, heading to their impending doom, their demise, and they don't even know it. You know, I fucking
Bela
love that
Lugosi's
shit.
Dracula.
That actually is probably, it's all LA actually. But yeah, it's great stuff. Oh, there's the green rotary phone from, it's me, Billy. I actually have the green rotary phone from Billy. It's back there. I don't know if you can see it. It's back there.
And I'm going to do The Blob towards the end of the month as well, too. Like, it's all old school horror films from like the 1930s and the 40s that The Curse of Frankenstein.
Right.
40s, it's close.
I understand.
That's
well, she dies here too, right? I think this woman dies.
Yes.
She kind of has a bit of a little bit, like she could be Amy Steele's sister. I think. Don't you think?
A little bit. Speaking of, dude, this was like the greatest like surprise ever. Like, I haven't been surprised.
You went out on a date with Amy Steele. Holy shit. Yeah. Holy, you've heard it here first, folks, right here. Breaking news. Breaking news.
I've been watching Home Improvement. Like easily my top 5 favorite television shows of all time.
Yeah.
And she's on an episode. Like, I didn't recognize her at first, and I'm like, damn, that girl with the red hair. I'm like, she looks like she could be Amy Steele.
She is.
And then I'm like, then she starts talking. I'm like, holy shit, it's Amy fucking Steele. Like, I've seen the show so many times. It never picked up on the fact that it was Amy Steele.
Right.
So I was like, damn, that's a nice, and it's the episode where Jill throws the baby shower for her coworker.
Right.
And Tim comes in and he's like kind of being all like suave towards the girls and stuff.
Yep.
And she has a little exchange between her and Tim, Amy Steele and Tim Allen.
Right.
And a little bit with Patricia Richardson.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, Amy Steele, fucking love it. She looked great too. She just looked mature.
Yeah.
Older and mature.
But I think she could be like a sister or a cousin.
Totally.
Here.
Absolutely.
I mean, kind of a little bit of that kind of thing there. I think. Anyway, I mean, you know. How do I fucking see the results of this poll? Oh, okay. I guess
Oh, and I am going to do the thing from outer space. Yeah. I'm basically going balls to the walls, like 50s, 40s, 30s, classic monster movies.
Here it is.
I haven't watched them in a while.
This is a pretty good kill.
Shit, I can't watch this shit.
This is a pretty, Tony can't watch. He's squeamish. This is a pretty good kill.
Anything around in this region, I can't do. I get squeamish.
This is a pretty good kill.
If you're making me turn my head.
That's what happened right there. Sorry.
Nosferatu. Yeah, I've debated. I watched that not too long ago. I'm trying to watch a lot of movies that are in my collection that I haven't watched in a long time. And I was like, I always do like the regulars, the Freddys, the Jason, the Michaels every October. I'm like, I'm just going to go old school, like super old school this month.
Right.
But the James Cagney film, The Man with 1,000 Faces, it's not horror, but it's kind of horror because he's playing Lon Chaney, who we all know who's the original Phantom and iconic Phantom face, from the original movie, Silent. I think it was Silent Picture.
Here comes Halloween on the TV.
Yeah.
Halloween. That's how he talks. Halloween. Wear masks. For candy.
This is a good speech, though.
It is. It's a great speech.
Turning it up.
It was the start of the year in our old Celtic lands, and we'd be waiting.
Yes.
We'd be waiting in the Celtic lands of Ireland. As we built the Titanic.
But he's there. He's going, I'm talking like this because it sounds more ominous and evil.
To sit by our fires of turf.
Yes, that's right. Halloween 3 ASMR. That's what this is. Happy Halloween.
The last great one took place 3,000 years ago when the hills ran red.
Animals
and children. Sacrifices.
Tom Atkins' stash is amazing.
Tom Atkins' stash needs to be in the Smithsonian.
Though the best mustache of all time is the fake one from Sleepaway Camp. That is an absolutely terrible mustache.
The planets do.
Now line up. Show me your underwear right now. I want to take your underwear. It's like, what's going on here? And he takes his underwear and he puts his underwear over his head. I love that it's the Halloween film. That's great.
And it's
which goes to show you
Laurie's walking across the street to
that's right.
Wallace's house.
Here comes.
I don't even need to see it. I know what's happening.
I like that.
I hear the music. I can tell you what's happening.
And he says, "Happy Halloween." But now, since this is on the television, this shows you that Halloween 3 and Halloween 1 and 2 do not take place in the same universe. So that should tell you that Michael Myers cannot be wearing a silver shamrock mask because Halloween.
Did someone really debate you on that?
No. It's just it's always been a fan theory, and in principle,
okay.
like I think it's kind of a fun thing. Like it's fun to talk about it, but if you really think about it, Halloween is a movie in this universe. It's fake. It's fictional. It's on the television, right? So so no, they do not live in the same universe.
Yes, they do, Dave.
But Dave, you're ruining my attachment to my idea.
Oh, that voice is so annoying.
Yeah, man.
It's an annoying voice.
Hey, what's going on?
Movie Chat and More sends in £5 to say, Dave, please give a shout out to my nephew, Kel. We are seeing Kills on the 16th. Explain to him we don't need peanut butter on a penis. Well, hopefully your nephew is old enough to be talking to like that. Shout out to Kel. Hey, Kel, how you doing, man? Hope you're doing well. Have fun with your Uncle Richard going to see Halloween Kills in the movie theater. And hopefully there will not be any peanut butter on anybody's private parts in this movie. There you go, my man. Kel. I like that name. It's a good name. Dr. Chalice has removed himself from the restraints and he's ready. Look, he takes the mask off and he's like, imagine he stands up, imagine he stands up and he Hogans. He fucking takes his shirt and like tears it apart. Yeah, exactly. And Chalice is ripped. Chalice is chiseled. Like he's fucking ripped. Like we're talking like fucking Ronnie Coleman ripped.
Hey, he's making kind of a comeback.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Good
for him.
Oh, Valm says, I missed your super chat. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go back and see. It was not intentional. There it is. Yep, $2. Thank you very much, buddy. It says, favorite John Candy and Chris Farley moments. Well, it's hard to pick just one, but I will say that I love Chris Farley in Tommy Boy. Fat guy in a little coat. I mean, that's just fucking hilarious. And John Candy, I mean, God, what is there to say? A living legend. A living legend. He's a living legend. He's been dead for a long time. But Planes, Trains is my favorite from him. A living legend.
He's in Stripes too.
He is. Yep. He's in Stripes. His first film he ever did as a leading man, not a leading man, but in terms of a starring role where he was the lead, was a little film called Summer Rental from 1984, I think, and it's a sort of family vacation kind of movie. The world could use a good
John Candy movie.
I agree. Sure. It's a good movie.
The world could use a good John Candy movie, and the world could use a good Michael J. Fox movie. And no, I don't mean Back to the Future 4.
Oh God. You know what's a good Michael J. Fox film if you guys haven't seen it? That, but I'm going earlier, The Secret of My Success. That's a funny movie.
Oh, it's a great movie.
That's a really good movie. The Secret of My Success is fun.
Very good movie.
Yeah. Remember when the elevator doors open, he's there doing the flexing. He's like flexing like this because you can't get dressed in time or whatever. It was a good movie. Chalice is out. Chalice is on the chow. Chalice is on the chow. Yeah, you can tell it's the same kind of music. It's great. It's great stuff. I love it. Chalice is on the chow. Imagine he was running around topless right now and he was fucking huge.
Put his tie around his head like he's Rambo.
Yes, that's exactly what
Not
I'm
his
talking
tie,
about.
but one of the guys, one of the
No, it's one of the women's panties that
guys.
he's had
that
sex
too.
with. No, he collect. Oh, this is getting dark now.
We're getting real dark here.
Good night, everybody. We'll be here all week. Tip your waitress on the way out. I do like how they've directed these, you know, cyborg robot kind of people to walk. They're very sort of, you know, zombie-like, but sort of robot-like, which obviously is the idea. But I like that. It's creepy. Chalice is on the phone here.
Shut up. Linda, shut up. Listen.
Linda,
What was that? Shh.
The silver shamrock. No. Santa Mira.
It's his ex-wife, isn't it?
Body cover.
Right?
It's Nancy Loomis.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
he's
Like,
talking
Nancy,
about.
shut up. Listen to what he's saying. I know but he's been captured. He's been kidnapped. It's all about you, isn't it, Linda? It's all about you.
Always is.
It's great. It's totally great. What's our poll up to right now? Can you see the poll? I can't see the poll for some reason. What's
139 votes.
All right.
27% are going to do what I'm doing. They're going to watch it on Peacock. So that's a little higher than I thought.
27%.
I was going to be in the small percentage of
Okay.
the group, but
Now remember, folks, it's the first time. So 27% are going to watch for the first time on Peacock. 61% say movie theater. Interesting. All right. Well, that's high. I mean, that's, you know, it's nearly 30% at home. That could eat into the opening weekend. You never know. The Dark Light sends in $5. Says, "Did you hear how Christopher Lee would have been Dr. Loomis?" Absolutely. That's a known thing. But then it would have turned Halloween into a straight Hammer film like Dracula, so they didn't. Well, he turned it down, actually. Christopher Lee turned it down and said it was the biggest mistake he ever made. Whether he actually, I mean, apparently he said that. He had
PJ, or not PJ, my girl, Deborah Hill said that in an interview.
Yeah.
And I think it was like in the 20th anniversary box set. That's the first time.
Well, they went after Peter Cushing, who had no interest. Then they went after Christopher Lee, who also turned it down. And then they went after Donald Pleasance, who, let's be honest, only did it, so the story goes, because his daughter was a fan of John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. And Carpenter has famously said that Donald Pleasance has said, listen, I don't really know what this is about, and it's kind of low budget, and, you know, but my daughter liked your first movie, and, you know, and okay, I'll do it. So that's why he did it. They barely got Donald Pleasance. I mean, let's be honest, right? So who knows who it would have been, but I could see a Hammer film. I don't know though. I mean,
you know who I could have seen?
It's a different
playing
kind
Dr.
of
Loomis
movie. It's a different
back in
kind
the
of
day?
movie.
I could have seen this legendary reporter, Earl McRae, playing legendary Dr. Loomis.
My dad was, are you kidding? My dad was like 37.
A little makeup, a little
36.
touch up, you know, he'd be good.
You know, but Alec Guinness could. I think he would have been all right. Alec Guinness.
I could have seen
Obi-Wan
Alec
Kenobi.
Guinness playing. Yeah, absolutely. But hello there, Michael.
Yeah. Hello there. He never said that. Alec Guinness never said that. That was, what's his face?
No, he does. Alec Guinness says hello there. He says it.
Oh, he does. He does. You're right. He does. Yeah. On Tatooine when he puts the
Tatooine,
robe down
yeah.
and hello there. That's right.
Hello there.
That's right. Forgot.
Hello
about
there,
that.
Michael. It's time for our meeting. Why won't you ever talk to me?
Look at him. He just wants to have sex with her right now. That's all that's going on through his head. Right
I knew
now.
your father, Michael.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
He was a strong serial killer.
A strong serial killer. Hang on. I was going to go back to my other spot. I have too many windows open.
God, look at that 80s computer and technology. I love it. I love it.
There's
I
more.
wish technology was like that still to this day. I do.
You know what's a good movie we should watch sometime? Although I don't think it would get a lot of hits. Not a lot of people would be interested in it. But I like the movie, though, I guess, is War Games with Matthew Broderick. That's
Oh,
a
you
fun
fucking
movie.
kidding me? I love that movie.
That's a
with
great fucking
Matthew
movie.
Broderick and is it Ali Sheedy?
Ali
Is that how you
Sheedy.
pronounce it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking
It's a good movie.
love that movie.
I don't know if that movie would get a lot of people watching.
Whatever.
Fuck
We'll
it,
do
it's
it
our
like-
show.
Whatever. It's our show. We'll do whatever
It's our
we want.
show. We'll fucking watch The English Patient, for God's sakes, if we wanted to.
We'll fucking watch The Notebook. How about that?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I actually like The Notebook. I think that's actually a pretty good
Yeah,
movie.
no, Notebook's a good movie.
No. We'll watch. I don't know. We'll watch Jaws: The Revenge every week for a whole summer. And we pretend like we haven't watched it yet. Like we act like it's new. Still waiting for that $5 million super chat. I'm telling you.
Yeah, full time for life. I said this like months ago, and I took shit for it. No, Tony, it's not true. Yep, we need vaccine passports to go into our theater.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of that.
Well, it started off as one theater was doing it, and I said this like months ago, and people gave me shit for it. It's like, no, it's not true. Here we are a few months later, and now everybody's asking for it pretty much.
Look at the slime that's coming out of these guys' mouths. It's like, what is it, like porridge or orange juice or something? It like the goop that's coming out of their mouths and all that kind of shit. Like it's goop. Goop-de-doop shit goop. Movie Chat and More sends in £2, says Psycho, The Exorcist, or The Shining, best movie. What are we measuring? What are we like? What I prefer out of those? I would probably The Shining or The Exorcist. But it depends on what we're measuring, right?
Movie or horror movie.
Yeah, depends on what's
but I mean, The
best.
Shining I love because it's Kubrick. You know, I mean,
it's a
The
great
Shining's
movie,
in like
too.
my top 20 favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, Shining's a great movie. Happy Halloween. Look at him looking up there, and he's like, I see you.
Bravo.
Isn't she the fucking robot now, though? She's a robot. Look at this. Happy Halloween, Michael. Oh, there we go. Now I can see the poll. 11% have said will not watch it. Get the fuck out of here. Who are these people? Who are these people that have said 11%? 151 votes and 11% of you said will not watch it. Some of that's got to be.
It's probably like the one person with like 10 accounts.
Yeah. And I bet you there's somebody that thinks I wrote cockpea and then peacock in brackets because cockpea is the name of the service here in Canada. Guys get peacock up there? No, we have cockpea. Just a joke, folks. Just a joke. Just a funny way of saying it. Just a joke. It's just a joke. It's it's the way it is. I'm watching Halloween Kills with Melania on my trampoline. Okay, that's how we're watching it. Michael, a lot of death, carnage. You're fired. 11% are not watching it. So you said that this is your number. Oh, look at that way she turned. Oh, I like that. I like the way that she turns, though. It's eerie. She did that really, really well.
She did.
She did really, and it's eerie. It's like kind of fucked up, and a nice twist. Like it's a nice sort of twist that if you're watching this movie for the first time, you absolutely don't see coming. And doesn't he like he cuts off her head or like?
Well, I know she
takes it off
an
or something?
arm.
An arm. Oh, right. My dad had a car like that in the 80s.
Same as mine.
Yeah, those cars were the best.
Everybody had like a car like that.
Yeah, they call them big boat, big Oldsmobile boat.
They were always under the engine trying to fix it.
Yeah, look at the arm just there. It's great. That's too bad that I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was like, oh, that's too bad. Because now I bet you're thinking, fuck, I got to go home to my ex-wife. God damn it, I was really hoping to stay with this babe. I like how it's just continuing to move.
So here's
around.
the question. Maybe she's actually still alive and this is just the robot version of her.
Ooh, look at that. Oh,
maybe, I'm
yeah,
saying,
maybe,
maybe he, she's actually alive somewhere.
Yeah, possibly. I don't know.
Robot version of her.
Maybe she's taken off with his real wife.
But you were about to ask me a question. This is what the head and the eyes are moving.
I know, that's great.
So cool.
I forget what I was going to say now. Yeah, Corinne Owen says the UK don't have Peacock. Doesn't have Peacock. Yeah, Canada doesn't have Peacock either. Chester Franklin Jr. says, Tony, the sound effects they used were from Escape from New York, Halloween 2, Halloween, and The Thing, Halloween 3, Carpenter, and Howard. Yeah, well, there's a lot of similarities. There's a lot of the same tones and frequencies for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it's exactly the same sound effect, like copy and paste, but it's the same tones. Yeah.
Well, Howarth and Carpenter were using a lot of the same synthesizers.
That's right.
They were doing this shit back in the 80s, especially using the Roland synthesizers, along with some others out there as well too, for the time, that was, what they had back then. So yeah, you're going to hear very similar sounds that obviously Carpenter and Howarth liked.
Yeah.
I mean, when there's a sound that they like, they're going to keep that sound, and you might hear it a little bit here and there. So yeah, you always know when you're watching a Carpenter type film or a film with Howard doing the score, especially in the 80s, it's going to have that same sound, design. It's going to sound very familiar.
Look at him. He's totally disappointed now. He's like, fuck.
Very disappointed. I fucked a robot.
Andrew,
I still think she was legit real, and I think this is the robot.
Yeah.
That's my conclusion.
Andrew Stevens says, so someone is apparently doing a petition to remove the firefighters in H Kills because he's soon to be a firefighter. He finds it offensive. Oh, fuck. If it's not a joke, that guy's not going to make it. He's just not going to make it. He's just far too sensitive. I just don't understand how it's got to be a joke. It's got to be a joke. And if it's not, I suggest he do something else with his life. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, dude, hair? Like, well, it's just like, come on, dude. Seriously?
I mean, if you're going to be a firefighter, grow a pair.
Yeah, like
you're going to be going into some really...
You're a little too sensitive to be a firefighter, man.
Situations.
Yeah, a little too emotionally sensitive to be a firefighter, I think. I think that's not... I'm not saying that people are human. I'm just saying that there's what do they say? A bigger fish to fry, as they say. Here it comes. Stop it. Stop it.
Stop it.
I'm turning this up. I'm turning this fucking up. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Everybody in the chat. Oh, fuck.
Please stand by.
Damn it. Worked. It's time. Everybody, let's do it.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
But it's on every channel. You cannot escape it.
Gather round your TV set, put on your masks, and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
That's right, baby.
It's still on, please. Take off the third channel. The third channel.
Back in the day, man, there was like only like 3 channels.
Yep.
Stop it. There's no more time. You've got to... Please, stop it. Stop it now. Turn it off. Turn it off.
The question is, do you think they stopped it in Do you think they stopped it in time, Dave? That is the question.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, ladies and gentlemen. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. If you're watching after the fact, comment below and let me know. Let us know your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Where do you place it in your favorite horror movies? Where do you place it in your favorite John Carpenter movies? Comment below and let Tony and I know. We want to know. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. I gotta say, it's a fun movie. It's the black sheep of the family, but it's a fun movie.
It's fun.
And there's a lot of stuff there, and a lot of people love it. Our poll, we have 163 votes. Movie theater. Now, this is supposed to be where you're... Listen, I know you're going to run home, you're going to watch it again on Peacock, but this is where you're first going to see it, right? So your very first viewing, that's the idea anyway. 63% say movie theater, 26% say Peacock, and 10% say they will not watch it. Get out of here! Go home! Get out of here, you lying sacks of pumpkin innards. I do not believe that 10%. I do not believe it. A super chat came in.
So what do you think happens at the end? Do you think they turned it off in time, or do you think there's this total like...
No, I
chaos?
don't. I don't. I think that's the idea, is that it's that he just couldn't, because the music is swelling at the same time, right? That's why I was going bum 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 bum, and he's like, stop it. It's building and it's building and it's taking over. It's taking over. And I think that, I don't know for sure. I don't know. I wasn't in the mind. We're not in the minds of Tommy Lee Wallace and John Carpenter. But if you were to ask them, it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, yeah, no, the world ended. You know what I mean? Like that's the idea. The world
That's
ends.
the idea.
You know what I
World
mean?
ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, at least kids die anyways.
Right. Yeah. It's right, exactly. The kids die. That's all that matters. David Coe sends in $9.99, says, Tony, the owners of Stu's house from Scream put it on Airbnb. I saw that, actually. Maybe they will let you shoot there one day. Also, you said you hate watching award shows, but do you feel the same way about the... yeah, he's making a joke. The Tony Awards?
Isn't that the musical award shows?
Broadway, yeah.
Broadway?
Yeah. But yeah,
I hate all award shows.
The Scream house is, I think it's like $1,000 a night.
Yeah.
And but it's got like several rooms. So you get like 10 people together, you could probably do it.
Good.
It's $100 a night. It's kind of cool.
Could do it.
You might be, maybe you could look into it and shoot something there. I don't know. Go in there and, no, you buy it. Just buy the house.
You might be right.
You may be right. Is it Valum? Valum sends in $2, says The Mist 2007 was going to be filmed in black and white. It was. Yeah, I remember hearing that. And the ending was not, the studio didn't want the ending that we eventually saw, which I'm glad because I love that ending. It's one of the most like, oh my God, endings of all time. But Darabont said, I'm not going to direct the movie unless I get that ending.
There's a new Joaquin Phoenix movie that's coming out that's in black and white. That looks kind of solid.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what is that?
I can't remember. I just watched the preview to it not too long ago. But chat room will let us know. You can always count on the chat room.
The chat room will let us know. Okay. Let's see. You want to go?
You want to know who could really make a killing if they wanted to? Like, if I had the money, all right, I would make an offer to buy the Amity house, and then I would turn the Amity house into an Airbnb, and you would make a fucking fortune because it's. I mean, even though we all know, I've been there. Well, not inside. I've been outside, and I've photographed outside the house. And it's on a nice, it's in Amityville, and it sits right on the river there, the waterfront. You could make, but you would get a lot of people would go to the Am. Are you kidding me? To spend a night in the real Amityville house?
Huge.
Forget it.
You know what I've always wanted to do? I would love to purchase a big home with some property in a really cool location, like, out in the country or on like a cliffside, like, you know what I mean? Like a really cool location, and run a like murder mystery weekend shed. I think that would be fun. Like, where people go up, like, I don't know if they still have those things, but like people go up and you get yourself involved in like a murder mystery kind of thing. But I would go all out. I'd have like fucking like fog and fucking rain and shit. And like I'd go all out, like a total, like a show, like at Universal or something like that. You know what I mean? Like I would love to do something like that. When I was a kid, I always wanted to work at Universal Studios, the theme park, right? Or Disney World or something, because I would have loved to have worked on, the movie rides or been like on the old school confrontation ride, which they don't have anymore. But at Universal, I want to be one of those tram guys. It was like, and welcome to New York and, whatever, right? And you act and you pretend that it's the 1930s and King Kong's there and all that kind of stuff. I always wanted to do that as a kid. And I think having like a property with a big house and running like a murder mystery thing, but doing it like, not like cheesy, like real fucking like all out, like at Halloween time, having like, Myers and Freddy and shit, and having other like characters that I create myself, like weird, crazy shit. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. That'd be a lot of fun to do.
You are a voice guy. I'm just throwing this out there. You ever thought about maybe on your YouTube channel, like doing like an old school murder mystery type show where it's just your voice and you're reading and you're doing the sound effects, just like they did back in the 30s and 40s when kids and young people would listen to on the radio? Just content goes.
I haven't yet. Not really. I haven't thought about it. I do so much voice work anyway that the last thing I want to do in my spare time is voice work. So it's kind of like,
No, I hear you. The last thing I want to do is be out there shooting photos. That's all I'm doing all day long.
Right. So it's kind of like I'm not against it, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to put it all together. But it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Oh, for a minute there, it looked like we went offline. Fuck you. No, we're online now. But I don't think we did. I don't think we did. I think we're on still. Movie Chat and More sends in £5, says, just to thank you, Dave. Since 2017, I have learned so much about movies from you. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Richard. I know we don't agree on lots of sequels, but I'm externally grateful. Hey, what fun would it be if everybody agreed? What fun would it be if everybody agreed? It's not that we disagree. It's how people disagree. You can disagree in a respectful way. And that's really what it should be all about. What's the, let me just see what the 64%, 23%, 174 votes, 64% say they're going to the movie theater to watch it. 26% say peacock or cockpea. 10% say they won't watch it. Get out of here, you little piece of... Let's take this thing to 8:30. Is that all right with you? Another 15 minutes? We'll just do that.
That works for me.
All right. Okay, we're going to take this thing to 8:30, ladies and germs. 8:30, and then Tony and I are out of here. We are out of here, ladies and germs. So, if you have something you want to get in right now would be the time to do it. Colin Murdy says a relative of mine works for Universal Horror Nights. He designs the themes and sets, etc. That's very cool. He also has done some props for Alice Cooper's stage show. John Murdy. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. John Murdy's his name. Very, very, very cool. Yeah, like that's the kind of thing that I would totally be into. In terms of like, I would want to play, whether it's at Halloween Horror Nights or whatever, like I'd love to play like Michael. All right. The problem with Halloween Horror Nights though, is that there's so many Michael Myers. They have like 30 of them walking around in the house. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, that's kind of, and the masks are never really that good. They're actually not that good. From what I've seen from people shooting, like they're not really good. But I've always liked that. Like here in Canada, if you visit Niagara Falls, there's the main sort of drag where all like the houses are and the shops and the rides and all that kind of stuff. It's a street called Clifton Hill, and it looks like a mini Las Vegas, like really mini Las Vegas. Where that's where the casino is, and they have like the rides and stores and restaurants and stuff, and it's a hill. It actually, you have to walk up it or down it. And they have screamers there and nightmares there, which is like that, haunted, not a haunted, but yeah, thing you go in and people who work there, of course, have like the infrared on, so they can see you where you are, but you can't see them because it's pitch black. When I was in college, because I went to Niagara College in Welland, Ontario, which is only about 20 minutes from Niagara Falls, we would often head to Niagara Falls to like, go to the bar or go to the strip club or, whatever, right? You're college kids. And, I remember there were many times where I was like, oh, I'd love to get a job there. Like, I'd love to get a job at like Nightmares or something, being like, one of those people that scare the shit out of you, because I'm a theatrical person. I'm an actor, right? So that's like perfect for somebody like me. You know what I mean? And I never did, but I knew a few people who worked there, and it was a lot of fun, apparently. So yeah, that would have been cool. All right. Movie Chat More sends in £2, says, what's the scariest movie of all time? Well, I don't know. It depends, right, on what your definition is, and what's the measuring stick of scary? You know what I mean? Scariest movie of all time. I mean, I think The Exorcist is up there. I think some of the older films too, like, Psycho, sure, but even like Rear Window.
I think it's an individual taste. I think
it is.
Everybody has their own. Taste.
It's too broad.
Like.
Yeah, it's too broad. Like you have to define, well, what's our measuring stick? Like, what do we mean by scary? And then we can hone in on what movies kind of hit that mark.
It's like I say Halloween 4 is the best sequel in the Halloween franchise. Well, just because I say that doesn't mean it's cemented in stone.
Right.
That's just my personal taste. It's my preference.
That's it.
Someone says so Halloween 2 is the best sequel. Well, yeah, you'd be right because that's your favorite sequel.
That's it. That's right. That's right. David Coe sends in $4.99, says, if any of the reviews who complained about the violence in Joker give H Kills a good review, they should no longer be allowed to review movies. I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
I just don't even pay attention to reviews anymore. I just really don't.
No, well, again, it's not that, I think people just
If there's a movie I want to see, I'm just going to go see it. And I'll decide
exactly.
if I like it or not.
at face value, absolutely. I just think more people need to learn what Rotten Tomatoes is. Too many people don't understand what it is. And I've said this before, but it bears repeating, is that people, seem to think that Rotten, Tomatoes is like this board of movie experts. And it's like, well, it's not. I mean, are there intelligent film people on there? Sure, absolutely. But there are also not intelligent film people. It's a spectrum. And it's not like, and remember, if I give a movie a 6 out of 10, that's a positive score on Rotten Tomatoes. That's actually a positive score. So, if Tony gives a 10 out of 10 and I give a 6 out of 10, a tomato will appear by Tony and me. So that's why, don't
Because Dave and I are nothing but a bunch of tomatoes.
But I mean is that it doesn't, it's not a percentage of, it's how they calculate it. It doesn't mean, and a 10 out of 10 and a 6 out of 10, that's a big difference, but yet that's both a positive score according to Rotten Tomatoes. So it's important that you look at the individual ratings of things if you care about that, but just look at it as a gauge. If you care about that kind of shit, if you want to know what people are saying or, what critics are saying, that's fine, but use it as a gauge. Don't put so much stock into it like they are, the United Nations of, movie quality or whatever it is. I mean, it's just it's a bunch of people that, and some of them have been writing for years. Some of them are actually film educated and some of them are not. Some of them are bloggers, that don't have a film background at all, but have a film blog that got popular and and they got a big following. So they were able to get a Rotten Tomatoes certified. Literally, they're on there too. So and I'm not saying they don't know a thing or two, but I'm just saying it's a spectrum. It's not like it's like 10 people who are all really highly educated in film. It's not that at all. So you just kind of glance at it and kind of get an idea maybe of what some people are saying. But always keep in mind that a tomato score doesn't mean that they gave it a perfect score. They could have given it a 6 out of 10. Look at the individual scores. You'll see 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 3.5 out of 5, 5 out of 5, 2 out of 5. You'll see certain scores under certain reviews. Look for that too, because you'll be stunned. There were so many people were like, are you serious? I was like, yes, a 6 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10 is the same thing according to Rotten Tomatoes. They're like, really? I'm like, yes, take a look. 7 out of 10, 10 out of 10, same thing according to Rotten Tomatoes. So just keep that in mind, when don't just, as Tony said, don't put so much stock into it,
Or just don't even pay attention to it.
Yeah. Well, that too.
How about that? How about that?
That too. Oh, wait a sec. Do we, oh no, a couple more did come in. Cody Snyder sends in $5 and says, here's to Chalice. He more than probably failed. Here's to Chalice. He more than probably failed. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yes, probably. Alex Jones. Scariest film of all time? Last Jedi. Oof. Yeah, it might be up there. Halloween 5. Might be the scariest. Movie Chat and More sends in £5, says most versatile actor, Michael Keaton, Kevin Bacon, Harrison Ford, Michael Douglas, or James Woods. Out of those, I would probably say maybe Michael Keaton. Probably out of those. What do you think, Tony? Out of those.
Who are the guys again?
Most versatile actor out of Michael Keaton, Kevin Bacon, Harrison Ford, Michael Douglas, or James Woods.
I mean, they're all pretty versatile. Although Harrison Ford, I don't know.
Harrison Ford's good, but he's
good. But every time I see Harrison Ford and just I can watch.
Oh, he's very Harrison Ford.
He's very Harrison Ford. What's the President movie where he's like
Air Force One?
Air Force One. That's basically Indiana Jones or Han Solo on Air Force One.
Well, some really actors are like. That's right. That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Michael Douglas is the same thing too. Good actor. Love him in some of his early stuff like Jewel of the Nile, Romancing the Stones, War of the Roses. Those are great movies. Yeah.
The Game, A Perfect Murder.
Wall Street, obviously, fucking classic.
Yeah.
Basic Instinct, obviously the controversy. Oh, you don't even understand. If you were a
Disclosure,
kid, let me tell you, Basic Instinct in the early '90s. If without the internet, it fucking blew up because of one iconic scene with Sharon Stone. And we all went to go see that one iconic scene with Sharon fucking Stone.
Women after that were turning their heads to look around before they crossed their leg over the other leg.
Yeah, pretty much. But of that, I don't know. I mean, I love Michael Keaton. I mean, there's so many great movies with him in it. I don't know if you've had a chance to see The Founder.
I haven't yet.
It's one of his newer films based on the founding of McDonald's and the franchise. That's a good flick.
Oh, it's on Netflix right now. Yeah.
Definitely recommend you and your girl watch it. It's such a good movie. He's good in that. Love him in oh Jesus, because I watch this movie all the time. It's one of my favorites because it's got my girl in it, Rachel McAdams.
Michael Keaton.
It's based on the Boston Globe story of the priest. And
that is a great movie. Spotlight. Yeah, that's a really good movie.
Great movie, but that's also an ensemble. That's him. That's Ruffalo. That's Rachel
but it is
McAdams.
A good movie.
It is.
Birdman is good. Says Alex Jones. Says Birdman.
The frogs are obviously gay. He will always be our Batman. I mean, to me, he's our generation's Batman.
Yeah.
Mr. Mom is a great classic Keaton film.
Yeah.
Gun Ho, some of his early 80s stuff is really good.
Multiplicity.
Beetlejuice, iconic.
Jack Frost. No.
Multiplicity was fun. That was a fun movie.
Right.
That's about when he went off. Like after he did Multiplicity, you know what? Actually, it's a good Keaton film. And it would be a good one to watch on here because it's got a kind of a horror feel to it. Is White Noise. That's
movie. I saw that in the theater.
Same here. If no one in the chat room has seen White Noise with Michael Keaton, highly recommend that movie. It's not one that gets talked about, but it's really good.
All right. Here it is. If White Noise is from 2005, then everybody in the chat room is going to love Halloween Kills. Am I right? Hey, Google, what year did the movie White Noise come out?
In the United States of America, White Noise was released on January 7th, 2005.
Oh, everybody in the chat's gonna love Halloween Kills. There's no scientific evidence for my experiment. I just am really good with movie dates.
There you go.
Now everyone in the chat's going, yeah, all right.
Yeah, I mean, I think
but you're right. White Noise is a good movie.
It is. And Kevin Bacon, Friday the 13th, Footloose.
You know what we got to watch on here too? We should just fucking do it. A Stir of Echoes.
Stir of Echoes is
Kevin
great.
Bacon.
Tremors.
Well, we watched Tremors already.
Kevin Bacon's Boner.
Kevin Bacon, yes, absolutely, 100%.
I think they all bring something different to the table, which makes them all great actors. James Wood too. James Woods, though, I will say, out of the group, even though I know Bacon plays a bad guy in X-Men First Class, and he's been a bad guy in a couple other flicks as well too, but out of all of them, James Woods plays a really good bad guy. He really does play a really good bad guy.
He takes his I don't give a fuck about life in the real world into his acting. That's true.
So and of course James Woods did the vampire movie there with Carpenter.
Vampires.
Vampire.
Vampires. Yep.
Vampire. So I think they all are versatile, and I think they all bring their own style to, and they're all great. It's kind of hard to just pick one.
Right. So. Donnie sends in $2 and says, have you seen Fried Green Tomatoes 1991, rated PG-13? A long time ago I did.
Long time ago.
It's been a long time since I've seen that. Ben Cauldron the fourth sends in $4.99 and says, greetings from USS George Washington. Very cool. That's a boat, right? That's the ship.
Yeah.
The ship. Wow, that's very cool. That's very awesome, my man.
If you're legit
on that boat, I salute you. That's amazing. Very, very cool. CVN 73. I don't know what that means, but I'm not a military guy, but I respect that you're doing it. He's talking to us from the George Washington, ladies and gentlemen. He is.
That's cool.
He is. He's talking to us. Shout out to everybody on the USS George. Shout out to everybody on the USS George. And amazing. Thank you for your service, folks. I mean, it's amazing. Amazing shit. He says, what are you looking forward to most seeing in the new Halloween movie? Also, I love watching you, Dave. Are you watching me right now? Oh, you mean on here? Oh, I thought maybe like when I was sleeping or something.
He does have military access. So.
I'm just saying, I thought maybe, you know, if I was asleep, he was like, you know, peering in on me with a drone or something. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. What am I most looking forward to seeing in the new Halloween movie? I think it's just, I'm most looking forward to seeing,
I'm looking
sort
forward
of
to
how it all
texting
comes
Dave once it's over going, I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I'm a very difficult person to please, as you guys know. But I'm going in with as little expectations as I possibly can. I'm not under any misconceptions. I know that this is going to be a high blood, guts, and gore film. I know that. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully there's a little bit of nuance where there's a little bit of the stuff that I like, that, you know, okay, they have all this death, carnage, and, you know, all these kills, but there's enough of that mystique and, you know, stuff that I like about the character and the presentation of Halloween through, you know, and I think I have a feeling we might see that through the flashback a bit too. But I can tell you right now, everything that I've seen in the trailers, I don't know if I'm going to like the movie, but everything that I'm seeing in the trailers, I do see that there clearly has been an adjustment. Now, when I say adjustment, I don't mean that it was a conscious adjustment because fans like me were like,
I don't like the tungsten lighting and I think it should be more daylight balance. And
I'm not saying that they're like, hey, well, Dave McRae said that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that clearly there's been an adjustment. And so that I find interesting. And I definitely like the aesthetic better that I'm seeing in the new film than I did in the previous film. So we'll see how that pans out. And I'm talking about not just the stuff in the flashback, but the stuff in present day as well. So we'll see how it pans out. I think the mask looks really good. I'm just excited to see the movie. I mean, listen, you know I'm theatrical on this channel. I can be crazy and dog shit this and dog shit that, and this movie's terrible. But at the end, and I'm a Halloween purist, I don't shy away from it. But at the end of the day, we're all Halloween fans. And we want the next Halloween movie to be good. You know what I mean? We want it to be good. We don't want it to be bad. So I'm excited to see the movie and my fingers are crossed. What about you, Tony?
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm, you know, like I said, I've been so in the dark and it's been hard to, you know, but I've gone the distance here with it. You know, other than seeing the teaser trailer and then this little blip that came out on that Return to Haddonfield, I still haven't seen the trailer. Although I think when it does come out, when we do what we're gonna do, I should watch the trailer with you just to kind of go, okay, now I've seen the trailer. I should watch it live with everybody and be like, oh, okay, that's what they put in there. Interesting. You know, I think you said it best. I just want to be able to text everybody afterwards when I see it and go, damn, I fucking loved it. Because, you know, like you said, with this franchise, for me, my one and only good experience in seeing a Halloween movie was, and again, a lot of that's because one, I was with my high school sweetheart at the time, and that was back in '98 in H2O. Right. So there's elements to that that's just, it's not just Halloween related. I was with my girlfriend. It was a fun night out. I had a really good time with it. So there's that sentimental elements to, as far as like what's my favorite first time watching it for the first time on the big screen, although I am watching this at home because I don't have a vaccine passport, so that's why I'm watching it on Peacock. So far as of right now, H2O is the best. So I'm hoping with Kills to be able to say, yes, I finally see a new Halloween movie for the first time and I enjoyed it. Right. Because it hasn't been like that. You know, Rob Zombie's Halloween, it was fun because I saw it with my uncle and a buddy of mine, but it was just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it was just, we walked out of it like, you know, like
well, it's
whatever.
Tough. I mean, you know, us fans have been burned so many times.
Yeah. Forget Curse. I've told you that story.
Oh, yeah.
Curse was just like, that was an emotional roller coaster ride for me.
Yeah.
Resurrection. Fucking, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay. The only best part to Resurrection, I will say this, is Jamie Lee Curtis being thrown off the rooftop. That's, I mean, other than that, the whole movie's dog shit.
But the kissing on the lips. I'll see you in
No,
hell.
I mean, I'm talking about the actual
No,
physical
I know,
throwing her off the roof part.
yeah.
That's probably the best part of the movie.
Right.
I mean, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, me and my buddy Devin walked out on that. We didn't even finish that.
Right.
So it's like, what the fuck am I watching? And my issues with Halloween 20, here's what I'm hoping, because me and Dave are doing a revisiting of Halloween 2018 next week to lead up to Halloween Kills release. So that's going to be the next show for you guys. We're going to revisit that film. My hope for Halloween Kills is that maybe with Kills and Ends, I might appreciate Halloween 2018 more. The thing that I didn't like about Halloween 2018 is that there were too many callbacks to shit that happened in other parts of the franchise that I thought that they were going away from. I'm like, well, you're trying to tell me you're separating it, but you're sort of recycling things that we've already seen happen.
Right.
And we've talked about that till we're blue in the face.
Right.
So my hope now is we're going to see these characters grow. You know, like I really, of all the new characters right now, my target is on Allison. Right? Allison.
Yeah.
I almost called her Alice because I'm Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Allison. I want to see her kind of emerge as the heroine, as the the last woman standing. So I'm definitely championing her to be the final girl standing at the end of Halloween Ends, no pun. And like I said, with Kills and Ends, I'm hoping that I might be able to look back in retrospect with 2018 and go, yeah, it's not so bad, you know, like, cool. Because now we've got the trilogy together and, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. I got you. Movie Chat and More sends in £2 and says, in my opinion, George was way better than JJC. I disagree. No, George P. Wilbur was better than James Jude Courtney.
I thought we were talking about George Bailey. Good old George Bailey.
No, I disagree. Okay, Harry Hagan sends in $20. Thank you very much, Harry. Very generous of you to do that. And says, I know mostly everyone likes that Laurie and Michael are not siblings in this new timeline, but I think they should have left it in. I don't like Michael being a mindless killer. And H78, he's not a mindless killer. He has an agenda. I disagree. I disagree with you, Harry. I in the first Halloween film, he does not have an agenda. And
what I don't like is that line in 2018. They never should have fucking said that line in the movie where their kids are walking down the street. That was stupid.
Well, this is what comes down to the idea of motive, right? And people have to, you know, we can play the semantic argument, but when I talk about how Michael, and I'm in good company when I say this, because the man that created the character himself, John Carpenter, has also, you know, said this too, is that the character, you know, when we talk about he has no motive, I mean, you know, we're talking about a motive it's not premeditated, right? So there's no, you know, it's not like Laurie owes him money.
But Dave.
Right.
But
I mean,
Dave.
You know, you can say things. It's coming. But you can say things like, well, you know, he went after Laurie because Laurie reminded him of Judith. Okay, but that's not a motive. It's not the motive we're talking about. You know, it's, you know, and he let Tommy go because Tommy reminded him of him, maybe. Okay, but that's not what we're talking about. You know, we're talking about that there's no, it's not premeditated. And it's all in the Loomis speech, right? There's no understanding, right? He says, I watched him for 15 years. He says, I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him.
Tom Atkins came in and started grabbing nurses' asses.
Right. But the point I'm making is that he says, because it's very important. He says, I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding in even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, good or evil, right or wrong. So what Loomis, right there, what he's saying is that there doesn't appear to be any reason for doing what he's doing. There doesn't appear to be any understanding of right or wrong, good or evil, in even the most rudimentary sense, the simplest sense, you know what I mean, that a child should know about, right? There doesn't seem to be anything there. So, you know, we can point to, like, you know, if we want to get like really specific, well, he's going after her because, you know, she's the one that got away, or she looks like Judith, or, well, yes, but that's not going to hold up as a defense in court. right? So why did, it's not like, why did you do it? It was evil, sir. Evil did it. Oh, okay. Well then, acquitted, right? That stuff, it doesn't, when I talk about motive and when Carpenter talks about it, we're talking about that there is no rhyme or reason for doing what he's doing. It's not premeditated. It just is. He obviously had an infatuation with her for whatever reason, but there is no reason. They didn't know each other. She doesn't owe him money.
Listen, at the end of the
because
day,
in that first movie, hang on, I just want to finish. In that first movie, we have to remember they're not related. They're not related. It's only in part 2 that is brought in. So although I do understand what Harry is saying, I respectfully disagree that in 78 he was now Harry. To be fair, Harry did not say that he had motive. He said mindless killer. And it depends on what we're talking about when we talk about mindless, right? But in my estimation, Michael is more instinctual. He is a force of nature. He's like the wind. It's not personal, right? So a tornado is not tearing down your house because you wronged the tornado. A hurricane didn't come, on shore and kill 10 people because those 10 people owed the hurricane money. I mean, that's not what it is. It just is. It just does. He's a force of nature. So, and I like that about the character. It's scary. It's frightening. There is no reason. And that's why we as human beings have trouble conceptualizing that and understanding that, because there's always a reason for sane people for doing what we're doing, but for doing it for just because, no reason, just evil, pure evil, that's frightening. And it's hard for us to understand that. So anyways, I went off a bit off on track because in Harry's defense, he is not talking. He didn't say motive. He said mindless, but I interpreted it that way, that maybe you meant it that way. But Harry is free to, of course, correct me. But I certainly, I mean, it depends on how you watch it. Like, you can watch the first Halloween in a vacuum on its own, the way it was meant to be, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end, and it has an arc. It was the boogeyman, as a matter of fact, it was, and that's the end of it, right? Or you can watch it with part 2, where there's that extension. And a lot of people love part 2. They love the idea that, oh, they're related. Oh, that totally makes sense. And then, of course, in part 2, well, he has motive then, right? He's going after her because he's a sister, or she's related, and then there's more of a reason for it. But what do you prefer, Tony? The brother sister or the non-brother sister?
If we're talking about Michael not being related to Lori, I look at it like this: in 78, Michael sees this young 17-year-old walking up to his house in some schoolgirl outfit and those white stockings, and he wanted to get up all in that. You're my babe. That's what I think that's what Michael's mission was in 1978. He wasn't trying to kill Lori. He was just trying to keep Lori to himself.
He just wanted to ask her out.
He was getting rid of everybody else in the way because he wanted Lori all for himself.
Right. He just wanted to ask her out. Yes. Yeah, he just wanted to ask her out.
Yeah, I look, you've said it a million times. The original Halloween, you're left to believe that the evil is just always still out there. That was it. And then, of course, they go on to do 2, and they throw in the sister thing. Literally, like, that's not even a figure of speech. They literally threw that in there just to give a twist to the movie to go, oh my God, what the fuck? They're related. Yeah. And the line, someone had asked me what line was I referring to in the 2018 movie. It's the line when the 3 kids are walking down to school to the beginning of the movie, and they make the reference to like how people thought they were related, and they said, no, that was just some rumor shit. Like there was just no need to do that.
It's a throwaway line. No,
it's a throwaway line, and you're dumbing down your audience to say like, we're not supposed to understand that we know they're not related anymore. Look, and I understand that line was probably intended more for the average fan who's like, doesn't pay attention to this shit like you and I do, and we're knee deep into this. So I understand why they did it. I just didn't think there was a need for it. And I mean, look, unfortunately, this franchise, man, has, as Wham put it, choose your own adventure, even though I know it wasn't intended to be like that.
No, but that is what it's like.
It is what it is, but we have to accept it. And
I will say this, and I said this the other day on the channel. I will say though, as somebody that, and I love Halloween 2, I do, because but I watch them like separately, right? So I can watch part 1 on its own, the way it was meant to be, and then I can get into a different kind of mood and go, okay, I'm going to watch part 1 and now part 2, as if part 2 actually does exist, which actually it does. And 2 is my favorite sequel still to this day. I think it's a terrific extension of that first film. I still love the first film more, of course, but I will say though, I do, and this is coming from a Halloween purist, I will say that although I do understand why they negated Halloween 2 from this new timeline, it almost feels like the craziness that was Halloween 2 with, the massacre at the hospital and all that kind of stuff, and the extra shit that Laurie went through would only help to serve and justify her character better in this new timeline.
I agree, because really her interaction with Michael now in the 2018 film is really a matter of minutes.
Right. And I'm always...
It's minutes.
Right. And we're cautious. Like, listen, everybody experiences PTSD in their own ways. And who are we to say that event that happened to this character wouldn't consume her to end up being the way she was later on? I mean, that's entirely possible. I mean, it's all personal, and I get that, but I can't help but feel that somehow the probability would be higher that those events that maybe she would have, I don't know. I just feel that if that extension in the hospital and her being chased by this killer in the hospital and Jimmy and the dead nurses and climbing through a window and then being chased outside and help me on the door and then shooting Michael in the eyes. I can't help but feel all of that would have only helped to justify why she's a basket case today. However, how do you justify Michael not burning to death and still being able to see? I mean, that's the conundrum. That's the big question of why it was never addressed in H2O. They never found his body. I mean, that was the one line the cop says in H2O. I thought he died or whatever. They never found his body. That's it. They don't even acknowledge it. He's not even burned. I mean, even George P. Wilbur had little burns on his hand. I mean, Chris Duran had no burns at all. So it's like
you could get away with stuff like that. We never asked questions like this, and so
this was 98. This is H2O.
No, I'm saying like with Halloween 4, you could get away with making something like that in the 80s, and no one's going to ask questions. They're like, another Halloween movie. Now people would be asking questions because continuity is extremely important.
Well, yeah, for sure. And so, but I do still think it was probably the right, like, unless you would come up with a very clever way to justify, I mean, because let's be honest, Michael didn't just catch a little bit of fire at the end of part 2. He was consumed.
He was on fire.
He was consumed.
He was on fire.
That would have killed him. Now, if it didn't kill him, then that means Michael would have to look like, and I hate to say this, but a burn, victim. He would have to literally look like that. Like maybe his hands are stubs, right? Maybe his, he can only see I mean, to make it really real, to justify it, it would have to be like that. Or you take a little bit of creative, liberty and you go maybe halfway and you say, it's so weird how come he didn't burn? I mean, how come he wasn't burned like this? That's so strange. But he had to have been burned to some degree. And I guess they just didn't want to deal with that and the eyes and how could he see and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. But I do admit that the further we go along in the story and the crazier the town gets and the evil dies tonight and, Laurie saying our family and this family and that. And I'm just like, dude, it was one night, 43. Like, what the hell are you what are you talking about?
It was like one night, and it was
one night, people. Right? And so I admit, even me, I'm like,
no, I mean,
maybe
the garage guy. So there was,
but I mean, her experience, right, was
and like I said, her experience. If you're basing it on that, it's minutes.
Yeah, it is. It's not
like this long night that drew out into to the hospital and all. Like none of that happened.
Even brackets. You let him out. That never happened. Everything in Halloween 2, every character in Halloween 2, everything in Halloween 2, that never happened. It never happened. Right. So the last time we saw Brackett going into Halloween Kills was not when he was like, you let him out, go on home, Lee, go on home. That wasn't the last time we saw him. The last time we saw Brackett was when he was like, where are you? I've been looking for you. He's here. He's 2 doors down. You go around the back. I'll check the front. All right. And that's the last time we've seen him.
And now we're going to get a new backstory, I'm assuming, in this new film on what happened.
Right. Exactly. Which is fine. And listen,
although technically if they wanted to, they could include that moment. They could sort of.
You can always. Listen. I mean, they cherry picked the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital logo.
Oh, yeah,
it's the same logo.
They cherry picked
Halloween 3,
Halloween Kills, and they referenced a lot of the franchise. So yeah, I mean, you could reference that, you know, we were at the house and, you know, whatever. I mean, he could say that, look, I still to this day feel that Loomis let him out. I mean, you could do stuff like that. I mean, who knows?
Right.
I don't like to do that. I don't like to overthink and guess. I'd rather just go into the movie and go, okay, however it's going to unfold, go.
Right. Movie
I know
chat.
you got some more super chats.
Yeah, I just want to get through them so we can. Ben Calderon the Fourth sends in 499, says, also, you always make me laugh when I watch your videos. Honestly, they were one of the things that helped me get through a depression. God bless, Dave. Same to you, my man. Well, thank you so much. It's great to know that you're on the mend and that things are looking up. Never be ashamed of that, man. We all go through stuff. Everybody's got shit going on in their lives. You know what I'm saying? I really appreciate that. Thank you. And then Movie Chat More sends in £2, says, quote me on this, by ends, the bro sis is back. I will disagree, but it all depends on what bro sis. Are they just going to reintroduce it? Are they reintroducing it? Because you can reintroduce the brother, you know, sister arc, but not having it connected to the Halloween 2, right? You could have it just sort of new in this kind of, she discovers it again, right? But it's not connected to the other films. I disagree.
But it's like you're recycling something.
Exactly.
That
I disagree.
Done. And that's where I want, like, look, that's my biggest beef with Halloween 2018. It's like, you're telling me you're getting away from what the mistakes were made in the sequels of the original run, but then like, and I'm not, it's not because of what Movie Chat More said. I'm saying in general, if they were to go back to that again, I'm just be like, well, you didn't do anything original. What I'm hoping from Ends and Kills is they're original. They stand on their own. And as I said, it'll make me appreciate the 2018 film more, having those two films to bookend this trilogy.
Great. Yeah, agree. I totally agree. All right, folks, listen, that's going to do it for Tony and I here on this episode. Let me end that poll. What are the final results of the poll? Oh, it didn't. Fuck. It was like 63% to 26% to 10% or something like that.
68% in the movie theater, 23% are going to do what I'm doing at Peacock.
Amazing.
You know, and that's because I don't have a vaccine passport and I can't watch it.
That's right. Oh yeah,
watching at home.
There it is. There it is. 67, 22, and 9%. You 9% are liars. You're all liars. Folks, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back next, well, actually, either, not quite sure what day yet, because next Monday night is the Canadian Thanksgiving here, so there'll be no show on Monday night. We're either going to do it Sunday night or Tuesday or something. We'll figure it out, and it's going to be Halloween 2018, leading up to the big release. That's right. Revisited, folks. That's what it's going to be. Thank you to our great moderators, of course, Frank Riker, Darren Sands, Chris Baber, Tabitha Short. Thank you so much for doing what you do and keeping the chat room moving. Really appreciate that. Tony, any last things you want to say?
No, this was good. Looking forward to...
Oh, look at that. My light went out. Perfect timing.
Revisiting the 2018 film next week, and we're getting closer.
We're getting closer, folks. We're getting closer. Have a great rest of your Monday night. And we will talk to you soon. Cheers.